Hey, hey, and welcome to another episode of Midnight Quest, where tonight we will be continuing the hero's journey on the thing that I say that I don't usually mess up, but I have tonight, because that's how it happens. Yo, Justin is here. How's it going? We're going to be continuing the hero's journey to become worthy opponents of the evil Dread Lord Zargon. After tonight's quest, we will officially be halfway through the first book, The Coming Storm, in our campaign. Now, The Coming Storm is only book 1 out of 14, so we have plenty more quests to go on before the heroes confront Zargon himself. Tonight, we are going to be following a group of heroes as we search for yet another lost Imperial wizard, which begs the question, what is the Emperor doing to these guys and why can't they just stick around? You know, I mean, first Melar and now this new guy. What in the world is this guy doing that we have to keep going to look for these wizards? I don't know, but we're gonna find out. Justin said he is working slow machine, so I'll have extra time to chat. All right, that's the good kind of work night right there when you don't have to worry about doing much. As always, if you are hanging out in the stream tonight, please don't be afraid to throw something in the chat so I know you're there. You can already find Justin Pollitt down there. We're going to be having some good conversation tonight, as we have been for the past several streams. So I am already looking forward to talking about whatever we get into talking about tonight. Don't forget, you can also catch all previous episodes of Midnight Quest, including both quests and painting streams, over on the Midnight Quest YouTube channel. The videos do not stream live over there, but please feel free to leave comments anyway. We will respond. We're a tiny channel. We can respond to every single one of those comments, so anything you have on your mind while you're watching those videos, please do let us know. And as with all sorts of content creation, we appreciate every single second of time that you guys spend over here. If you're enjoying what you see and what you hear, please don't be afraid to hit that follow button on Twitch and that subscribe button over on YouTube. We really appreciate it. Now we've got a little bit of setup to get to before we get the ball rolling, so let's get that taken care of so that we can jump down into finding the latest in a long line of wizards that the Emperor has somehow misplaced. Good Lord. And Justin says he's doing his job one-handed. I mean, that's the best kind of night, right? Okay, so first off, we need to decide what heroes are going on this quest. Now, I have edited our randomizer deck. It is still randomized. It's not like I influenced who's going, beyond making sure that the heroes who have now gone on several more quests than the others are not going to be picked again for tonight. So I reviewed how many quests everybody in our ranks has gone on. There were several heroes who have gone on 4. Meanwhile, we've got one hero that's only gone on 1 total. So just making sure that the heroes who have gone on a lot are closer to the bottom of the pile. So let's see who's going tonight. As per usual, just in case anybody's watching that doesn't usually, we have these Beatles cards here, which line up with a character randomizer sheet that is on the wall up here behind me. We have currently 10 heroes in the ranks, but only 4 can go on each quest, so we randomize which 4 we get. Our first hero tonight, the Queen of Diamonds, which lines up with, let's see, Robert Tylan, the Berserker. Yes, indeed, that is the guy who's only gone on 1 quest so far. So it's unsurprising that his card would be drawn. Again, these were recently primed and dry brushed by Savannah. So this guy is getting ready to be painted. Catch tomorrow night's stream right here on Midnight Quest at the same time as always for a painting stream where she'll be continuing to paint some heroes. Last time she painted Grimina, the Dwarven Explorer, who might get picked tonight. She also hasn't been on very many quests. This is a fantastic paint job that she just did on Sunday night. So we'll see if she ends up going on a quest. The 5 of Hearts is Thraken the Barbarian. I think he's been on 2 quests so far, so glad to see him. Also going tonight, the 6 of Diamonds is Moonstone the Druid. I don't remember how many quests she's been on. It's 2 or 3, I think. Druids end up with a lot of really interesting skills as they go on more and more quests. But even right now, she gets to turn into a big bear thing when she gets mad, so can't beat that. finally, the Ace of Diamonds, which is Treyas the Wizard. Here he is right here. Really looking forward to seeing this mini painted too. I really like how this mini was crafted. So that is our 4 tonight. And these cards will be discarded until everything gets reshuffled. Let's get some character cards so that I can keep track of turn order. Let's see. Oh, there's Thraken. That's Robert Tylan right there. Who else are we looking for? Yeah, the Druid. And there's Treyas. Where's the Druid? Oh, she's clear at the bottom. There we go. Okay, I'm going to put these aside for the time being and get them back out when we're a little bit closer to ready. There we go. I'm going to get their character sheets out so we can take a quick look at their loadout so that we can go to the armory before we get started here. Here's, yep, Thraken and Robert Tylan are both right at the top since we haven't used them for a little bit. There's Moonstone. And there's Treyas. Boy, everybody was right at the top. Okay, we're definitely going to need spells tonight too. Sarah just told me you sent me some sheet music. Yes, I did. I sent you the 9 pages of tab for distance. Yes. Yes, indeed. And poor Xavier, she was in the middle of playing a song when I hit print on that, and I don't know that I've ever printed anything in my room during a piano lesson, so I did not realize how loud and obnoxious the printer is, and she just kept, I mean, she was a trooper, she just kept playing while this dumb printer is making all sorts of noise right next to us. I wish that I had waited till she was finished with her song before I hit print. I just did not anticipate it being that annoying. Okay, so let's see. Robert Tylan still has rusty armor. He's only allowed to take that on his very first quest, so that's got to be gone. So we should probably look into getting him some armor. We've got 715 gold coins to work with here, so we need to see what we're looking at. For the most part, we are looking pretty good. Treyas has got 3 defense. He's got long range. Moonstone's got 2 defense. She's got long range. So getting people some chainmail is kind of high on the priority, but that's also expensive. We definitely need to get Robert Tylan at least a helmet so that he's throwing 2 instead of 1. Other things that would be good would be long range. Now, Robert Tylan as a berserker can't have long range. So Thraken could theoretically get a crossbow or a short bow. Or we could get somebody chainmail. Kind of see how that works out. It's time to buy a 7-string. Been meaning for some time so I can learn Necrogoblicon stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Not a bad idea. Now, excuse me, distance is 6-string drop C, but most of the Afterwinter stuff is standard tune 7-string. I happen to know, as it happens, that James is thinking about selling one of his 7-strings, actually one that was used on the Boundless album. If you are interested in that, I might be able to mention that to him. He's got it's a John Petrucci signature. It's a Sterling by Music Man, flat black, 7-string, pretty solid guitar. I think he just didn't like it as much as he likes the 7-string he's been playing forever. Already have a guitar set up for the drop C. Yes, I imagine. I figured so. Okay, well, right off the bat, we definitely need to get Robert Tylan a helmet. Let me get my calculator up here. Normally I do this stuff in my head, but we're on stream, I'm on camera, I'm going to screw the math all up. So 715 coins, I know a helmet is 130, so that's not a big deal. We'll go ahead and get that so that Robert Tylan at least is back up to 2 defense. Anything's better than 1. And then what we need to do really is determine 585 gold coins is what we have left. So either we could buy Thraken some sort of crossbow, or we could spend pretty much all of the rest of that to get somebody chainmail, which would help with some extra defense. Could go either way, I think. Tell you what, let's go ahead and do the long range for Thraken. I think that's going to be the most beneficial to us right at the moment. And then after that, we're definitely going to have to start saving up gold to buy people chainmail so that we can get defense up. Okay, so as always, chat, up to you. Might be up to Justin Pollitt, but if anybody else is watching, definitely weigh in here. I'm going to get Thraken a bow, but he's got an option between a crossbow or a short bow. There is no difference functionally in the game. It's just a name thing, so it's kind of all for our imaginations. Would a barbarian be using a crossbow, or would a barbarian be using a traditional bow? I'm kind of leaning more towards the traditional bow myself, but let me know what you think. Either way, that's going to give him 3 long-range dice, so I'm going to go ahead and write that in. And I'll go ahead and subtract 350 coins from our total. That's going to bring us down to 235. Ooh, do we have anybody who can disarm traps? That would have been smart to look at first. Yes, Treyas can. Okay, good, because we don't have enough money for a toolkit. Short bow. Okay, yes, I agree, Justin. Okay, so that takes care of our armory trip. Let's get some items going. Looks like pretty much we just have a couple of healing potions. Thraken's got a potion of healing. Moonstone's got a potion of healing. Robert Tylan doesn't have anything. Treyas has a toolkit, but there's not a card for that. Treyas also has the Wizard's Cloak artifact, but we don't need to give him that card. We've already reflected that in his defense total. Cool, so we just need spells and skills. Yes, Rambo with explosive arrows. Yes, oh, that's fantastic. Oh, that would be great. Oh, and I missed, Justin says crossbow's too mechanical for a simple-minded barbarian. Agreed, yeah. Yep. I feel like the barbarians would be using regular bows to hunt up in the snowy areas. Yeah. Oh, and I also missed, Justin said I might be interested. Still got Justin's old Right Way base. Awesome, yes. Yes. You're collecting all of the history for these bands. I was disappointed when James told me that he was gonna sell that guitar because again he used it all over Boundless. But I understand, you know, when you're trying to save money, you're looking for stuff like that to sell. I'm glad somebody out there is getting some of that stuff. Somebody that we know. Because he asked me if I wanted to buy it off of him, and I was like, yeah, you know, I want to for the sake of keeping it around, but I don't need another one, and I don't want it to just sit in a corner and never getting touched either. Okay, so Robert Tylan got the 3 Berserker skills, Frenzy, Retaliation, and Enrage. We'll cover those, what they do if he needs them. Most of them only trigger if he is low on body points, so we'll see how that goes. Thraken doesn't get any sort of skills. Moonstone needs some spells. We have Druid spells, and these are just the regular Druid spells. In fact, I'm not even sure I changed anything about them from regular Hero Quest. So Life Force, Pixie, and Shapeshift. Again, we will cover those when/if we need them. And then finally, Treyas just gets regular Hero Quest spells. So let's talk about that. What did I do? Oh, right. I've still got the calculator up. Now Bohemius has got me thinking about explosive arrows. That would be such a fun mechanic. Okay, so Treyas, our wizard, gets 8 spells, and they are all still at random at this point. So regular Hero Quest has 9 spells. I here have a big old pile that contains 6 copies of each one of those. Did I say 9 spells? 12 spells. I have 6 copies of each of those 12 spells in a big old pile, and we are going to separate that pile into 4 smaller piles, totally equal, and randomize which spells he gets. Now, that's not how real Hero Quest does it. they would have you, or have the wizard or the player playing the wizard pick 3 of the elements, and then you just get all of the cards that are associated with that. One of the things that I changed pretty early on was randomizing the spells and having multiple sets of them. So the heroes can theoretically get multiples of a spell, they could theoretically get a bunch of really useful stuff, or they could just get a whole bunch of really useless stuff, and then it affects how they have to worry about what they're doing in gameplay. Usually we get at least a few decent spells, but I have definitely seen some really garbage spell loadouts since everything is randomized. Okay. Bohemia says, do you plan to use mercenaries? Yes, absolutely. Now, I locked them until the Mage of the Mirror expansion, which I think is book 6 in order. So I know I didn't use the Avalon Hill canon order because I had ordered mine before they released what they were saying the order was. So for me, it's obviously Coming Storm, Keller's Keep, Witch Lord, Prophecy of Telor, Spirit Queen's Torment, and then Mage of the Mirror there. So starting with Mage of the Mirror, I allow the heroes to get mercenaries if they want. I do need to come up with a better randomizing system for whether or not they're gonna use them. Because I tend not to, so I can't just leave it up to myself, or I just won't even think about it. Okay, let's draw some cards here for Treyas. So our cards here are going to line up with the piles. The suit tells us which pile to get, and the number on the card tells us which card in that pile. So this is pile number 1, card 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. His first spell is Rock Skin, which will temporarily boost his defense. Or it might not even be temporary, really. It depends on if he ends up taking any damage. It's a pretty good spell. Justin says, if James gets a price on it, have him message me on Facebook. We're already friends. If it's not too much, I'll get it. Nice. I do believe, I'll have to confer with James. He actually deleted his Facebook probably close to a year ago. So his Facebook is totally gone. But I'll confer with him and then get with you. I'm not sure what exactly he's thinking price-wise. But I don't know if I said that. Pile 2, card 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Courage will temporarily boost his attack by a couple of dice as long as he can see monsters. Ooh, pile number 1, card number 1. Genie, one of the best offensive spells, absolutely. Okay, for his 4th spell, pile number 4, card number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Veil of Mist, not a spell that I end up using very often, allows him to move through monsters. Is that it? On his next move, he may move unseen through spaces that are occupied by monsters. Oh, and then one small change I made to this, casting this spell does not count as an action, just to hopefully give it a little bit more use case, because I was finding myself never using that spell. So gave it a little bit of extra oomph. Okay, spell number 5, pile number 2, card 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Sleep. Does exactly what it sounds like, puts a monster to sleep. Next is pile number 1, card 11. Boy, we're drawing all the face cards here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Ball of Flame, probably the second best offensive spell. He's getting a pretty good loadout so far. Be nice to get a healing spell, though. Pile number 1, card number 2. 1, 2. Ask and ye shall receive, I guess. Heal Body. Gives him 4 lost body points. And for his final spell, pile number 4, card number 1, is Fire of Wrath, which is just kind of a weaker version of Ball of Flame. We didn't touch pile number 3 at all. Weird. All right, let me arrange those spells a little bit better because I just kind of set them aside. They're a big mess. Also, I usually try to order these in an order I think they might actually get used. There's no way to tell for real, but helps if I don't have to try and draw from the middle of the pile. Here we go. That'll do it. Get those up here on his character sheet where they are ready to go for us if we need them. Make sure I'm not missing anything else. I don't think we are, so we should be pretty much ready to get moving. I'm going to put my character cards back here so that it helps me remember the turn order. I know those aren't quite on camera there. Let's get the music started and get the quest text read. Okay. This is Quest 7, The Lost Wizard. The Emperor's personal wizard, Wardoz, has disappeared. The Emperor fears that he has been murdered or has succumbed to the lures of dread magic. You must find out what happened to Wardoz. You will each be paid 100 gold coins upon returning to the stairway. Short, sweet, straight to the point. There's a missing wizard. The Emperor doesn't know what's happened, but we know where he's supposed to be. Go figure it out. So for the second time, we're going to figure out why a wizard is not responding to the Emperor's calls. Bohemia says, don't worry, the canon order they published long ago is shifting and changing, probably will change again. They want the people to play without a specific order anyway. That makes sense, yeah. Again, I ordered this before they released their stuff, and I also created a couple of books to fill in story gaps as well. So that was another thing that I was trying to think of what order should they go in, and I don't think it matters a bunch, but I definitely created a couple of books, including the big finale, so that we would have the final showdown against Zargon, which I imagine, and I'd love to be proved wrong just because I want to see what they would do with it. I imagine they'll never make a finale. Because then what do? You know, will HeroQuest officially want to move beyond Zargon? I doubt it. So we may never get a final, the heroes actually confront him quest. But if they did, I sure would love to know what their ideas are for it. Okie dokie, so starting this quest, actually it would be smarter to start with the other camera. Wizard's just dodging calls. Yeah, you're no kidding. This the Emperor must not be a fantastic person because he just keeps losing these wizards. We are going to be starting here in this green room. Let me get the stairs. Now, to be fair, the game actually does not talk much about who Mellar was. So there's not really an indication that he was working with the Emperor. But this guy, Wardoz was the Emperor's personal wizard. So that is still like kind of mysteriously two wizards who have just kind of stopped writing back. So here are the four heroes on the staircase. The only other thing in this room at the moment is a door. Getting rid of our skeleton guy right here. Right here. Okay, grab a drink before we get started proper, because we need to talk about what Robert Tyland's options are. This quest isn't horribly long, so hopefully we won't go on beyond 3. Oh, we got our first spam chat for the night. Thank you. You're adding to my first time chat number. So, thanks, random bot. If anybody has been really dying for a virus on their computer, I bet that link will help you out. Justin says, Wizard is like, you want me to come to work again? I was just there yesterday, clingy much. Yes. Oh, yes. This wizard must have really hated the Emperor for what we're going to find out about it. Okay, so Robert, in that room obviously hasn't been searched for anything yet, so his options are search for traps, search for secret doors, search for treasure, or leave. What's he going to do? He is going to search for traps. That's a very smart berserker right there. It's too bad he only has 2 mind points. Yeah. No traps in that room, but it's always good to search. Second action, he has search for traps, search for secret doors, search for treasure, or leave. And he is going to search for secret doors. Also, none of those. So not much happening there for the big old axe guy. Thraken. Now we have search for treasure or leave. He's gonna search for treasure. We're just doing all the options right in order here. Let's see what Thraken finds. Oh, Thraken finds a heroic brew. That's a handy first pull. A heroic brew is a potion that allows a hero to attack twice on one turn as a single action. So those come in handy in boss fights or against monsters that they're struggling against. Definitely something that the heroes want, and we've pulled a lot of them recently. There must have been a lot of heroic brews fairly close together in the treasure pile. Okay, second action for this guy. The only thing that's left to do is move, so let's get moving. I almost forget to say this every time because I imagine everybody watching knows this, but just in case this is your first time watching one of these episodes, you can direct your attention to the bottom left of the screen where you will find a dice cam, so you can keep track of what is happening on the dice. As long as my dice are not too old and faded to tell, you can keep me on track if I accidentally do something wrong. Okay, Thraken. Moving along. 1, 2, and 3. Moving right up to that door and opening it up. In our blue room, let me bump the camera here just a little bit. We have yet another door. We have a fireplace, because you got to keep your monsters warm. And of course, our first big indication that something has gone very wrong, which is that also in this room are 2 skeletons. There we go. Use a mix of the Milton Bradley and Avalon Hill guys here. Here we are with some skeletons. Oops, I didn't really get that guy in a space. There we go. Now, Thraken doesn't have actions to do anything about these guys. The only other thing we need to determine is if he's going to stop there or go ahead and go into that room even though it hasn't been searched. What is he doing? He is going to bound in there. There we go. Now let's see, is it actually smart for him to stand right in the way? Probably not. Let's actually offset him a little bit just there. Luckily, neither of those spaces are trapped, so he hasn't stepped on anything. Okay, Moonstone the Druid. She does actually have a different option here. Is she going to move or cast her Shapeshift spell? She is starting off the quest by casting Shapeshift. Looks like this right here. Shapeshift grants you 1 extra defense dice and 1 extra attack dice, close range only. This spell is broken as soon as you suffer 1 body point of damage. Regain this spell when your body points return to their maximum number. So the Druid has this fancy ability to turn into this large bear-like creature here. Now I know I've said this a couple of times, this is an official HeroQuest mini. This is not the mini that's meant for Shapeshift. However, they've never made, that I'm aware of, a mini for Shapeshift. And this thing here is part of a system called Animal Allies, which I'm not planning on using. So I figured, might as well use it. With her second action, she can go ahead and move. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. And again, I'm not sure it actually benefits her to get right in the middle of the fray since she can't attack. But Treyas here, our wizard, is definitely going to be able to attack as long as he doesn't get a really garbage movement. He's got a 7. Now, okay, he doesn't attack any different regardless of if he's close range or long range. So let's get him, let's see. Do we want to get him up there? Yeah, he's got pretty good defense too. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just stick him right in the middle of everything and hope he can take at least one of those skeletons out. Which one is he going to attack? He is actually going to go for this guy. Treyas not a big fan of the Avalon Hill minis, I guess. He's going to try and get rid of that guy. Treyas pulls out his wooden staff and takes a swing, hitting the skeleton with a 1. The skeleton does not defend, so he gets rid of him. Okay, that leads us to the monster's turn, which is, at this point, just that one skeleton. No reason to move him. He's already standing next to Treyas. The skeleton swings its scythe at the wizard, hitting him with a critical hit of 2. Now, luckily, Treyas has the wizard's cloak. Yep, the artifact that we found last quest, or yeah, it was in the last quest. Plus, he has a helmet, which I know in HeroQuest the wizards aren't supposed to have helmets, but I changed that just so that they weren't like guaranteed death, basically. So, hit him with a critical hit of 2, and Treyas defends one of those hits. Ooh, he's also built his constitution a little bit, so he has 11 max body points. He is now down to 10. All right, Robert Tylan, the only hero here that must be close range. He does not have any long range, nor will he ever have long range. We need to get him in there to that skeleton. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. They still haven't searched this room for traps. That was dumb. I should have had... oh no, they didn't have actions to do it. That's why we didn't attack. Never mind. Okay, no traps in that, luckily, but he's moved right up to that skeleton. Robert swings his broadsword at the skeleton, but misses. Ouch. Okay, Thraken. Oh, here we go. Bohemia says Wizards of Morcar leaked 2 years ago and the story included Zargon. The people didn't like the idea and they had time to do major revisions. Wow, I did not know that. That's super interesting. Yeah, I didn't hear any bit of that. That's really neat. I wonder what the plans were. Was there an actual battle in there? I mean, surely they weren't planning on letting people kill him. Thraken, what are we going to do? Are we going to move up to the skeleton or shoot from the current position? He's going to move up there. Now, the only reason I ask is they still haven't searched this room for traps, so every step is kind of a gamble. All right, Thraken swings his broadsword at the skeleton, hitting it with a 2. And it does not defend. Okay, now we can get some searching done in this room. So we are now at the druid who is standing in the doorway. So she still has options to search for traps or secret doors. So traps, secret doors, move into the room and search for treasure, or just move into the room and go for the door and ignore all the searching. Oh, she's doing the last thing. Yeah. Move into the room and just go straight for the door. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Luckily, none of those spaces are trapped, and now they've stepped on every relevant square unless they find a secret door, so no need to search for traps, probably. We're going to open this door looking out into the hallway. Good, we can already see that hallway on camera. Out here, they find a wall right there. Another door into the tiny room right here. And at the moment, that looks like that is all that she can see. She's still got plenty of movement. Is she going to stop here and search the hallway for traps? Yes, she is. They may have been real dumb about searching the room, but at least she's searching the hallway. There are no traps from this square in front of the door to the end of this hallway right here. No traps. I will say, and I think I've probably talked about this on stream before, so forgive me, Bohemius, if I've said this to you already. I think I have, but I'm glad that they canonized the name Morcar as well. I was really curious if they were ever going to do anything with that, and if they did, what were they going to do? It's not what I did, but I wrote mine before they wrote theirs, and I didn't want to change it because I was pretty satisfied with mine. And I thought what they did with it was interesting. Again, giving the name to Zargon as an alternate name and kind of like justifying both, I thought was a really neat idea that I was glad that they added a storyline in there for. For anybody who doesn't know previous Hero Quest lore, and again, Bohemius, you can correct me if I'm wrong about this, my understanding is that in the American versions, the evil wizard character was called Zargon, but pretty much everywhere else, at least in the European versions, the evil wizard character was named Morcar. And so there was this kind of weird back and forth about whether the character's name was Zargon or Morcar between different regions and stuff, which wasn't super important until Avalon Hill started remaking the stuff and just called him Zargon everywhere. So now everywhere in the world got Zargon instead of Morcar. And so there was kind of, at least again to my understanding, a question of, well, now what? Bohemia says, I believe they introduced the Artificer instead of Zargon. The leaks talked about the last 2 quests being a double quest against Zargon. Interesting. That would have been really, really interesting to see what they were going to do with that. But I bet it would break a lot of their system to actually let you get rid of Zargon. And I say that as, since I've kind of, again, at the end of this campaign, I'm going to have the heroes, you know, theoretically kill him. Hopefully they don't lose that last quest. But, so then I've let my mind wander down the path of, okay, if we create a storyline that goes beyond the death of Zargon, what now? And one of the big things that I've noticed is, all throughout the rule book, they refer to the Dungeon Master character as, or sorry, not the Dungeon Master character, the Dungeon Master player as Zargon. You know, as the Dungeon Master, I am supposedly Zargon. And so that would require a massive semantic change to the rule book itself to not have Zargon as the main villain. And that alone makes me wonder if they ever will do it. Would they have to come out with a second edition rule book that replaces the word Zargon with Dungeon Master or some version of that? You know, I'm curious. I don't know what they'd do, but I'd be curious to see, that's for sure. We are at Treyas here. Again, nothing has been searched in that room. We're going to, for the moment, block off searching for traps because unless there's a secret door, they've already stepped on every relevant square. So secret doors, treasure, or leave the room. He's going to go for secret doors. There are none, so they now know there's no need to search for traps. So second action, treasure or leave. He's going to leave. Ooh, and he got a 12 too. I'm not sure yet, by the way, what I'm going to do with the Artificer character, because again, I left the Wizards of Morcar in my book as the original 5 quests. I might go in there and update a little bit so that I can include some of the new monsters like the Stone Golem and the Minotaur that they put in that weren't in the original. I'd like to use those. But because I used the original quest, I only needed the 4 original wizards. And so I'm not currently planning on using Nayashak. Instead, I'm going to leave it as Groshak. And I'm not sure what to do with the Artificer at all yet. I'm going to either leave them for a theoretical second campaign, or I got to figure out something. Bohemian says, yes, EU was Morcar, and it's nice that they commemorate his name in the Wizards of Morcar. Absolutely. I'm glad they did something with it, because I think Morcar is a really neat name, and I would hate for it to just not be used. All right, Treyas, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that we're out in the hallway, there's really only one way to go. They know there's not traps. Are we stopping to search for secret doors, or just continuing the move? He's going to stop and search for secret doors. There are none in that same area that they search for traps. I need to remember, and Savannah may be watching the stream too, so she might hear me say this, but she's going to be doing a painting stream tomorrow, and we have got to remember to put a little something on the top of the doors. That's something that my dad, who's been watching these streams, not when they're live, has mentioned, that it's sometimes hard to tell the door apart from the walls, and if we just put a little something right on the top of the door, that would help indicate that that is a door and not a wall. I need to remember to remind her to do that in tomorrow's stream, because I'd like to think that wouldn't take very long. Okay, monster's turn, but there are no monsters, so we are back to Robert Tylan the Berserker. Ooh, she says, what color should I do? Good question. Anybody, any thoughts on that? I was kind of thinking like maybe a little streak of gold or something, just to really make it pop. Something that's not stone colored, but also not something that could be viewed as just a stain or something. You know what I mean? If it's on the top, then it'll be really clear in the upper camera. But definitely open to suggestions. What do you guys think? Robert Tylan, search for treasure or leave. He's also leaving. None of them are interested in treasure, I guess. Not very fast. 1, 2, 3. He didn't even reach the door. Starting to get warm. I'm going to take the jacket off here. We've got a space heater down here, and it works. It takes it a little while to get it warm in here, but when it does, it does. Okay, Thraken, same thing. Treasure or leave. He's also leaving. Okay, so we're going to force that on Moonstone before she leaves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, as per usual, we'll probably break the heroes up into 2 groups of 2, so we can card Thraken here. Is he going to be, opening that door or moving on down the hallway? He's going to be moving on down the hallway. Honestly, I'm glad, because there's some stuff down here that I would want a heavier hitter taking care of. Let's see, what did he do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He didn't quite make it all the way down the hallway, however. Moonstone. She's the last one in that room, so let's force a treasure search before she leaves. Let's see what she finds. She found a potion of healing. All right, good. That makes it, she has 2 of them. But that is definitely good. At least it wasn't a trap. She's honestly not the one who should be searching for treasure, because if it's a trap, she'll lose her shapeshift. All right, and then she can move with her other action. 1, 2, 3. Again, here, is she going to be going with Thraken or opening that door? Okay, she's going to be opening the door. In our tiny room is an additional door and nothing else. She's got 2 movements left. Is she stopping here or going in there? She is going to stop here. She doesn't have the action to search for traps, but we will on the next turn if it hasn't been done already. Okay, Treyas the wizard. We still need to determine who is in what group. So Treyas, is he going to go with Moonstone or go with Thraken? He's going with Thraken, or rather he's going to go in front of Thraken. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now that he is here, we can see what is in the square. Let me change cameras here so that we can kind of get up and above. The entire square is open this time. Now he can really only see this area of it. What he can see right here are 2 stone statues in the shape of Dread Warriors, which have been animated with Dread magic to act as though they are Dread Warriors. However, being that they are stone statues, they have 1 extra defense dice, which actually gives them the stats of gargoyles. So that's not good. Justin says, oh, by the way, I got a camera you can use if you want until you figure something else out. It's just a Logitech C922, but it could be helpful. Oh, nice. Yeah. I've been trying to figure out how to make this setup work to have guests come on. So I think the cameras that we've got work for what we're doing. Although, you know, they could use an upgrade eventually, but more cameras for the sake of potentially having guests on would be handy. I gotta make sure my computer can handle all that input too. Okay, Treyas, are we stopping there and searching for traps? Yes, he is. That's smart right there. As per usual with trap searching in the hallway surrounding the central room, I do go ahead and let the heroes search that entire area. It's kind of a big area, but I find that usually is the least confusing thing. We will reveal any traps as well as any walls, just so that we can better indicate the area that is being searched. So there are a couple of walls at the top, a couple of walls at the bottom, and that's all he needs to know about right now. There are no traps in the entire square hallway. Okay, monster's turn. We've got those 2 Dread Warriors right there. So only one of them is going to be able to actually get to Treyas, so we'll card which one. It's going to be the top one, actually. 1, 2, 3. Yes, made of stone and roll 1 extra defense dice. I wanted to make sure they weren't supposed to stay stuck where they are. The Stone Dread Warrior swings its mace at Treyas, hitting him with a 2. He miraculously defends the attack. A wizard with 3 defense dice, whoever would have thought. Seems like overkill now, but it will quickly not be overkill as the quests get harder and harder. Robert Tylan the Berserker now needs to go ahead and go with Moonstone, and he ought to be the one in front since he can't shoot and she can. So 1, 2, 3, we'll go ahead and stop him. Oh, we're not on camera. 1 second. Here we go. We'll get a little closer to them now since we know that they're going. So Robert Tylan has walked into the room. I thought they knew about traps, but I guess they don't, so maybe he shouldn't have gone that far. Is he going to search for traps, search for secret doors, search for treasure, or ignore all of that and continue his movement to that door? He is going to search for treasure. see. Robert finds... You search a dirty, crumpled set of robes lying on the floor. In an inside pocket, you find 35 gold coins. Nice. Let's see, what's that put us up to? 270. We're going to get a pretty good payout for completing this quest too, which will be nice. Justin says, I still got a bunch of stuff from when I used to stream. To be honest, I could probably even record my own music if I had the know-how as far as best practices. Yes, and that, as I'm sure that you've guessed this, but that is a never-ending rabbit hole. Learning what you should or shouldn't do is, my gosh, the years and years that I have spent thinking I know what I'm doing, only to find out that I'm doing it real dumb. And I'm sure that it'll continue to be that for the rest of my recording career, or whatever that might be. Every couple of years, I'm going to be like, oh, why haven't I been doing that all along? Thraken. He is up here, and we might as well just stay with this camera since we can see. I said that really weird. Now, thankfully, we bought Thraken that short bow, so he can still contribute to this fight, even though he is not close range. He loads an arrow into the bow and fires at the Dread Warrior, hitting it with 1, and I very much doubt that's going to help, because they roll 5 defense dice. Yep, it blocked, but just barely. Honestly, I thought that he was going to land that hit. Can he do anything else? No, he sure can't. No point in taking his heroic brew or anything like that. All right, that takes us to the druid with shapeshift. Here she is right here. She could search for traps, search for secret doors, or move into the room for the door. She's going to search that room for secret doors. That's an odd choice, but whatever. No secret doors in there. Second action, traps or move. She's moving. They're not worried about traps in this room, and lucky for them, there aren't any. 1, 2, 3, but they're just taking the chance. Opening the door. Moonstone finds in this new room, we should move the camera just a little bit here so the new room is on camera, another door. Does this wall look funky? We got the bottom of this is sticking up just a little bit. Doesn't seem to want to fix though. Might have to see if I can like sand down that plastic there. I'm glad it seems like it looks normal from top down, but from my point of view, this corner of this wall seems a little higher than this corner. Also in this room are 3 skeletons. Lots of undead in this quest. Got another mix of Milton Bradley and Avalon Hill guys. We've got skeleton there, facing the wrong way, and a skeleton there. This guy, he was talking to the other guy. He didn't hear the door open right away. There we go. Justin says, I definitely could not do the mixing and mastering. I don't have the ear for it. Yeah, I worried about that for a long time myself too, because I thought I did. And then when I would watch YouTube videos for a long time, and those guys would talk about, oh yeah, you hear how this part is a little bit muddy? We'll just go ahead and take this frequency out right here. And I would be like, I didn't hear that one bit. I thought it sounded fine. I agree now that they've done something that it sounds better, but I didn't hear anything wrong with it in the first place. That takes a lot of time to develop, and also requires a good mixing environment, which is an ongoing process as well. I hear that stuff a little better now, both because I'm a little more used to it, and because I've spent a lot of money treating that lesson room so that I can hear things the way they're supposed to be. And now, usually, if I watch a YouTube video and they point out something like that, I hear what they're saying. Okay, Moonstone, you have no further actions to do anything about this room, but she does have movement left. Is she just bounding in there, or is she going to stop? She's bounding in there. Okay, now if she ends up surrounded, which she will, the smartest option for her is to go 1, 2, so at least she can only get hit by 2 of the guys instead of 3. And luckily neither of those spaces are trapped. They're doing kind of bad so far about just running into rooms without searching them so far this quest. Let's hope they get that figured out. Excuse me. Atreus now is off camera. Let's switch over so that we can actually see him. Get a little bit closer to that action. Yeah. we have Treyas and Thraken here fighting a Stone Dread Warrior. Treyas is not really the guy who ought to be close range, but he does have pretty good defense. Darn, you know he's got the best defense of anybody in the party. That's odd. It's just because we gave him that Wizard's Cloak. But I do think that this calls for one of his spells. This is a tough enemy. As I said, this is, with the extra defense dice, these guys have the same stats as gargoyles. So I think he would be forgiven for using up some of his spells here. Let's see, Rock Skin would be helpful, but honestly, I think it would probably be better if he tried to attack the guy. So let's do this. Rock Skin is an option, Genie is an option, Ball of Flame is an option, and I think Courage would be a good option. Well, and Sleep too. Although you could argue that maybe he shouldn't be able to put a statue to sleep. You know what? I think I am going to make that argument, actually. These guys are supposed to be stone statues. I don't think you can put a statue to sleep. Okay. Courage, Ball of Flame, Genie, or Rock Skin. Let's draw a card, and the suit of the card will determine which of those spells he casts. He is going to cast Genie. That's a good option. Probably what I would have picked if I had not made it random. Justin says I go old school and scoop the mids. Yes. Alright, Treyas is casting the Genie spell, which allows a Genie to attack with 5 attack dice any monster that the wizard can see. So a Genie appears in front of Treyas and he directs it at the Stone Dread Warrior. The Genie attacks immediately, hitting the Stone Dread Warrior with 3. That was a good hit. The Dread Warrior does not defend at all, being destroyed by the Genie. That was a good use of spell. I wasn't expecting it to actually kill it. Treyas now has one more action that he can take, and probably moving out into the hallway is the option that we want to go for so that Thraken can help. Although it's a hallway, it's one by, no matter what, only one person's getting attacked. Let's card this. Is Treyas going to search that hallway for secret doors or move out into it? He's going to search it for secret doors. Okay. There are no secret doors in that hallway either. That brings us to the monster's turn, where we have a couple of things happening. Since we're right here, let's go ahead and take care of the Dread Warrior that's just off camera. 1, 2, 3. He's going to go ahead and move up here and just replace the last guy. He is totally undaunted by seeing the other statue completely destroyed. He's a statue. He doesn't have feelings. The Stone Dread Warrior swings its mace at Treyas, hitting him with a 1. Oh man, come on, you can do better than that. I hate to root for the monsters, but come on, 4 dice and you got 1 skull. Treyas defends the attack. Alright, over here in Skeleton Land, we've got some interesting stuff going on because all 3 of these skeletons can attack. Let's see if we can get a little bit closer to the action here. This camera doesn't like to stay down. The springs push it back up. So first off, we've got the skeleton here that is right next to Moonstone. Let's do that. The skeleton swings its scythe, hitting Moonstone with a 1. Now in her shape-shifted form, she does have 3 defense. And she does manage to block that attack. We are also going to send this skeleton over here to her. The second skeleton swings its scythe, hitting her with a critical hit of 2. She only defends 1, losing a body point, dropping her to 9 body points, and also costing her her shapeshift. At least for now. And finally, we have the skeleton over here. Oh, yes, good question. One moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This skeleton is going to attack Robert Tylan. Readjust here just a little bit. This skeleton swings its scythe, hitting him with a critical hit of 2. Robert actually manages to defend both. Awesome. Bohemius asks, how do you use courage in your game? I think I left this one alone. I'll just read you the card here. This spell may be cast on any one hero in your line of sight, including yourself. This spell grants the targeted hero 2 extra attack dice. The spell is broken the moment the targeted hero can no longer see any monsters. So I think that's still original. One of the last things that I did before I started this channel was I made all custom cards. So every single card you see me using is one that I remade in an editing program and changed the wording to be how I do it. So if any of the cards look a little weird, that's why. So honestly, I'm pretty sure that's the normal wording, but I might have changed it around a little bit. That's been really neat, by the way, having like completely custom cards. That's how all of the gold treasure cards have custom text on them, and you know, pretty much all of the cards. I didn't want to ever have to do the thing that you do when you get a job and the person training you is like, well, this is what we're supposed to do, but this is how we actually do it. So instead, all of my cards actually say what is supposed to happen according to my customization. All right, back to Robert Tylan. We're already pointed at him. He is right here. Robert Tylan swings his broadsword at the skeleton, hitting it with a critical hit of 3, which is also a skilled strike for that skeleton. That guy is super dead. Out he goes. This allows Robert Tylan to take another action this turn. No reason to search for traps in that room since they've already stepped on all the squares, so he might as well just move up to the action ready for the next turn. Thraken the Barbarian is on the other camera. Here he is. Just like last turn, finds himself shooting at a stone Dread Warrior. He puts an arrow in his short bow and fires, but misses. That's a brand new bow for him. He's probably not super experienced with it yet, and unfortunately there is nothing else he can do with his turn at the moment. So we are moving on. Justin Pollitt, that's my catchphrase. Yes. What is that? Again, I imagine my the delay between the live and the comments has me reacting to the wrong. What's the catchphrase? Moonstone here has a couple of skeletons attacking her. Let's see which one she's going to go for. She's going to go for the one she's already facing. Unfortunately, she lost her shapeshift, so she's just attacking with regular weapons. So she pulls out her wooden staff and takes a swing at the skeleton, hitting it with a 1, which it does not defend. Excellent. Also, don't do what I just did. Oh no, what did you do? Moonstone has another action left here. She really needs to be searching that room for some stuff. She's got a couple of healing spells, but she's not damaged enough for that. So is she going to search for traps or secret doors? She's going traps. That's good. She should have searched for that before. There are no traps in that room, but now they know. Okay, and that puts us at Treyas. So we need to switch the cameras again. Treyas is standing right here in front of the Stone Dread Warrior. Now, a spell worked in his favor pretty well last time, but I will admit that Courage would be a little bit dumb to cast right here, because as soon as that guy's gone, the Courage spell is going to dissipate because he can't see any other monsters. Oh yeah, Justin says, when training people, things trainers say. Yes, yeah. Gosh, yeah, that's absolutely. I see, that's your catchphrase is, well, this is what we're supposed to do, but this is how we really do it. Also, don't do what I just did. Yeah, too true. I should have recognized that for what it was sooner. Yep, totally agreed. Everywhere I've ever worked, it's that immediately. Okay, Treyas, are we gonna do Rock Skin or Ball of Flame? I think Courage is not a smart move here, so let's take that off the table. Courage or Ball of Flame? Sorry, Rock Skin or Ball of Flame. He's gonna go Ball of Flame on this guy. A large ball of fire materializes at Treyas' fingertips. He directs it toward the Stone Dread Warrior, immediately engulfing it in flame. It attempts to throw the magical spell off and is not successful, taking 2 body points of damage. It is not dead, but that was definitely a good hit. Adjust a couple of things here real fast. put a couple of damage markers down there. And finally, Atreus is also able to physically attack this guy since he has 2 actions. So his second action, he is, going to take a swing with his wooden staff, hitting the Stone Dread Warrior with a critical hit of 2, which it does not defend. That takes it out. These Stone Dread Warriors are going down a little bit too easy. Bohemian says, that is fine, I was just curious. In First Light, they changed it completely. Practically is just a potion of strength. Works for only 1 hit. Really? Now, I've got First Light, but I did not notice that that spell was different. Wow, I'm definitely gonna review that, because that is wild. So somebody at Avalon Hill determined that spell was overpowered, I guess. Wow, yeah, that blows my mind a little bit. That would upset me a little bit playing it like that, I feel like. I did, now again, I grew up playing HeroQuest. I played the Milton Bradley version since I was too young to have the game, probably. And clear up until just a couple of years ago, I realized that I had been playing the Genie spell wrong. I had been playing the Genie spell like the Courage spell, that it gave you 5 attack dice until you couldn't see a monster anymore. And I had played it like that for years, until one day I was down here playing with the other guitar player in my band Afterwinter, James, and I had been having him play it like that too, and I just happened to read the card one day and was like, wait a minute, where in the world did I get that? I just haven't been reading the card all these years and assuming that, well, surely I know how the game works. Suddenly I realized, oh no, the Genie attacks with 5 dice once. It doesn't give you 5 attack dice for several turns. So that was really frustrating when I realized that I had been doing that wrong, and like I should have known for a long time. The Genie is also able to do something else, right? Now, I eliminated that off my card because I have never ever used the other thing that the Genie could do, but it seems like attacking a monster with 5 dice was only one option. Was it able to search for something? Or reveal the contents of a room or something like that? There was some other thing that the Genie could do. Okay, monster's turn. We've just got this skeleton here who is now adjacent to both Robert Tylan and Moonstone. Who's he going to attack? He is actually going to go for Robert. Here we go. The skeleton swings its scythe, hitting Robert with a 1. Oops. I have been so bad recently about throwing these dice and losing them. And he doesn't block. That's okay. He actually gets some special stuff as he gets lower. He is down to 9 body points. That reminds me that I actually lost a dice clear behind my desk over here that's off camera last night, totally by accident. It just went way back there, and I never did go down there and look. It's probably because the stream lasted so long last night. It was after 3 a.m. when we stopped the stream. Okay, we recovered that dice. We didn't lose that, so that's all good. Moving back to Robert Tylan on his turn, which we are already pointing at. Let's see if he can get rid of that skeleton once and for all. He swings his broadsword, hitting the skeleton with a 2, which it does not defend. Out it goes. His second action is he's searching for secret doors, or moving into the room with the... there's really no reason to have him potentially search for treasure. Moonstone can do that. So secret doors or move. He's going to do secret doors from where he's standing. And there are none. Moving into Thraken the Barbarian. Here he is. We can now actually move into that hallway. And we know there's no traps, so they don't have to worry about being careful about it. He gets an 8. 1, 2. Which direction is he going to go? He is going to go up. 3, 4. Get a little less close to the action. So now he can actually see down this top hallway here. And all he can see at the moment is yet another Stone Dread Warrior standing in the corner. I bet you guys can't guess what's standing in this corner. Justin says, I kept distracting you with music-related chats. Yeah, yeah. No, it's all good. All good. I enjoy talking about the stuff. I mean, if I was going to only focus on playing the game, there'd be no need to stream it, right? So I'm glad you guys are in here having conversation. Bohemia says, Genie opens any door in the dungeon is useful only in special quests with locked doors. Yeah, that's a absolutely excellent point. And I'm glad you brought that. I couldn't remember at all what that was. But yeah, I don't think ever in the history of me playing this game had I used the other option. So I just eliminated it off of there. Okay, Thraken, I've taken the threat off camera here, has just revealed another of those Dread Warriors. Now they do know that there's no traps anywhere in this, so we don't need to worry about stopping him right here or anything. He's only moved 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's see if we can get him close enough to shoot. 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, plenty close enough to actually fire at that Dread Warrior. Thraken puts an arrow in his short bow and fires, hitting the Dread Warrior with a 1. That's surely not going to get through. It does. Okay. Boy, I'm glad that wasn't a monster attack. 5 skulls. Whew. Ouch. All right, Moonstone. We've separated our teams in a way that means I have to keep switching the camera every hero. Treasure or move? She's going to do treasure. See what she finds here in the yellow room. A wandering monster. Oh, man. Okay, what's the wandering monster for this quest? Yeah, it's a mummy. Well, there's where the real danger is. Here I was looking at the quest map thinking that this one didn't look very hard. Wandering monster being a mummy is not a good situation. So a mummy pops out. I don't know if I've shown this mini yet. This is just like kind of the basic Avalon Hill mummy. The lights aren't doing us much help there. A mummy jumps out and immediately attacks Moonstone. Throwing a bandaged fist, it hits her with a critical hit of 3. Ouch. She attempts to defend and only manages to ward off 1 skull, taking 2 hits and dropping her to 7 body points. She's got plenty of healing stuff though. She's got 2 healing spells and 2 healing potions, so if anybody's gonna die, it's probably not gonna be her. Ooh, the auto mod managed to hold yet another spam chat. This might be the first time that we've had 2 spam chats in a single stream. That's pretty neat. Justin says, if you don't mind, I may send you rough cuts of songs I want to record and have you give me some advice on what to improve before I come record for real. I want to be able to come in and get the most out of an hour without a million retakes. Totally understood. Yeah, absolutely. Go for it. That is maybe the biggest benefit of being able to record yourself, is just being able to do a million retakes and it not cost a bunch of money. I won't lie, that's a lot of the reason that I started getting into it. One of my first bands, Axion, went and recorded an EP with somebody, and it not only did it not really come out the way we wanted, and really through no fault of the person recording, it was really, we just sounded kind of bad. But we paid for it, and then when I listened to it, I was like, man, I feel like I could probably do at least that good. And here we are. Okay, that was the druid searching for treasure, and that was her first action to get there, so she has an action that she can retaliate attacking. She pulls out her wooden staff and takes a swing at the mummy, hitting it with a critical hit of 2. Boy, is she just gonna wipe this guy right back out? No, it does actually manage to defend one of those skulls, taking 1 hit, but not both. I'm kind of glad. That would have been a little bit too cheesy for her to just kill that guy immediately. Bohemia says, I'm rooting for the druid. I've played Cryptic Perpetual Darkness Hand against the Ogre Horde with it, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah. I really enjoy that. And I like too, so I've got the Mythic tier Druid mini as well. And I liked that mini. I assume this is another one that they've lost the rights to, which is why the Druids they've released since look different. But the Mythic tier mini looks like this. And I liked this mini too. It's interesting that they've gone with the kind of shorter stature. I'm not sure if the Druids are meant to be kind of their own race, now that they look like these kind of shorter creatures like this? And if they just kind of changed their minds, or what was the deal with that? Oh, Justin says, I figured your dad taught you. No, actually, Dad wasn't really into recording. He can play any instrument you push at him, and he had dabbled in recording, but not really. No, anything that I've ever done with recording has been through trial and error and watching YouTube videos, honestly. And so I recorded my first album in 2003 on my dad's Fostex 4-track recorder. And that album, by the way, is garbage, just in case anybody is wondering. That was the year I turned 12, you know? So it is exactly what you think it is. It's not just a little kid messing around. I mean, I was being serious, but I didn't do it very good. So a lot of years of garbage recordings until they finally started sounding decent. All right, Druid, that was it for that. So we are at Treyas then, who's standing in the hallway. Let's switch cameras over to him. He's here. We need to get him up there to help Thraken. Oh, that's no help. 1, 2. I mean, that's literally no help at all. He can't do anything there. Okay. Come on, brain. My brain just totally froze. It's the monster's turn. Okay, geez. Couldn't come up with it. Okay, we've got 2 monsters on the board right now. We've got that mummy, which is not going to attack on this turn because it already attacked. Just the wandering monster moved its attack from the monster's turn to earlier. But we do have this Dread Warrior, which can come attack Thraken. The Stone Dread Warrior swings its mace at Thraken, hitting him with 2. I think he's only got 2 defense, am I right? Yes. And he does not defend either hit, taking both and dropping him to 8 body points. Ouch. With that, we are back to Robert Tylan over here in the doorway of the room. No more searching to do in this room. He just needs to get up there to help. 1, 2. He swings his broadsword at the mummy, hitting the mummy with a 1. We need to get him an axe. His mini's got an axe. It's weird to see the axe and then say broadsword. The mummy, however, does not defend the hit and is dead. Oh yeah, okay, I missed a couple here. Bohemia says they had the rights, but the mythic druid was not received well from the public. I really like the gnome better. Okay, yeah, so okay, I didn't put together that that's meant to be a gnome. That makes sense. It makes more sense, honestly, than it just being like kind of a human-looking girl. I like both minis, but yeah, definitely. This seems more original, maybe, to me, than just having like a human-looking character in druidy-looking clothes. Justin says, I have a simple interface with 2 inputs and I sort of know how to use Reaper. I really should just try and see what happens. Yeah, I mean, why not? Why not? The worst you can do is make something bad and then try again and make something a little better the next time. That's certainly what I did. I just had a lot of time to do it because I was a little kid when I started. Okay, so Robert Tylan just took out that mummy. That was both of his actions, so we are at Thraken. Up here with the Stone Dread Warrior. Let's move the camera just a little bit. We're not really focused on what's going on here. Thraken is going to swing his broadsword at the Dread Warrior, hitting it with a 1. Ooh, you gotta hit these guys harder than 1. I bet it's gonna defend. It does indeed defend that attack. Anything else he can do? This whole hallway has already been searched for stuff. His heroic brew might come in handy if he's getting desperate, but I think he's okay for now. Plus, you should drink that before you do your first attack. I think attacking and then drinking it and attacking again is kind of cheesy. Okay, Druid. Switching back to the other camera again. Druid is in the corner of the room. We can go ahead and roll her to move. There's nothing left to search in that room. 1, 2. She is going to open the door down into this lower blue room. What she finds is another door and another 2 skeletons. There we go. Oh no. And here we will find yet again some more proof why I should not be allowed anywhere near miniature paints. This was a pathetic attempt by my probably 12 or 13-year-old self. And I thought, you know what should be on skeletons? Blood. Blood should be on the skeletons. Oh boy, am I glad that Savannah is going to paint these for real. All right, Moonstone, are we going to stop here for the purpose of searching for traps, or are we bounding into the room? She is going to stop and search for traps. That's good. There are none. But she's at least not running in there like a moron. Justin says, I thought everything you produce sounds good, even the Right Way album. Why haven't you started a label, or did you? I've thought about it. I've certainly thought about starting one. Bohemia says it could be a halfling, but the gnome is more likely because the only other race specifically mentioned in the game. True, true. And I think I like the idea of it being a gnome a little better than halfling, but I totally agree with you. It could be either one, because they're definitely a similar size to the dwarf, probably shorter than the dwarf, right? Have I got? Oh, Savannah's got the dwarf over there. I've got the base set dwarf. Yeah, I mean, they're certainly comparable in size. Let me see if I can show them to the camera in a way that makes sense there. So the dwarf is maybe a tiny bit taller, but not by much. Yeah, this wasn't a great angle. I appreciate that, Justin, by the way, that you think everything sounds good. I think so too. When my age is taken into consideration. The Right Way album, Storm of Evensund, was originally recorded the year that I turned 18. So, you know, again, I think I could be forgiven for not really knowing what I was doing at that point. Now, the version that's on Spotify is a 10-year anniversary remix, which came out in 2019. And honestly, if I did it again, I think I could do it considerably better if I did it again now, but we have done that album to death, and I think you being one of the more vocal Right Way fans probably know that better than anybody other than members of the band, that we have redone that album to death. So I think I should probably leave it leave it where it is. Okay, Treyas is where we're at now. He needs to move. Can we get something better than 2? Let's get over there. No, we sure don't. He only rolled a 3. At least he can get up into the hallway this time. 1, 2, 3. Do we let him cast a spell? It's probably, he's got Fire Breath, he's got Courage. We determined he can't put one of those things to sleep. Rock Skin may not be a bad option, but I think probably the most helpful thing he could do is shoot with his wand. So, Treyas pulls out his wand and sends a blast of energy towards the Stone Dread Warrior and misses. So much for being helpful. Justin says, was there a specific reason you went with rocks for Afterwinter instead of self-releasing? It was a familiarity thing, to be totally honest with you. It was just because Bio was already signed with them, and when we mentioned to him that the 5 of us were leaving Chaz and forming a new band, of course he was like, well, I mean, the last 2 Bio albums that you guys did were some of the best selling that my label has done so far, so I want you guys. And we were like, yeah, sure. We haven't really talked about this publicly, but I'm not sure yet what will happen after the release of Boundless. The ball was fumbled a little bit. It shouldn't have come out on streaming before the physical release. And it's not just their fault, but it was frustrating. The idea that we could have released the album in September of 25 and didn't because we were waiting on his release schedule. He told us it was going to release in January or February, and then that got pushed back to the end of April, and then even now the physical release still isn't out. And he never has done a fantastic job promoting, if I'm being totally honest. We felt that way even in Bio, that we felt he ought to be promoting more, but that's a failing of ours too. We also don't promote very well. None of us are social media bugs, you know what I mean? So it takes a lot out of us to do that sort of stuff. So I don't know. The big benefit that he provides is that he pays for the physical release. So all of that, if we have artwork made, he pays for it. The design of the booklet, he pays for it. The actual payment for the physical stuff, he pays for it. That's really the only benefit of a label in 2026, you know what I mean? It's so easy to put your stuff online and promote it yourself that you might as well self-release. And there would have been several benefits to us to have done it that way this time. So I don't know. We've discussed it a little bit as a band, and there are vocal support people for both sides. Vocal support for leaving Rocks and self-releasing, and vocal support for staying with Rocks. There's also something to be said for just being able to say you're on a label. I mean, doesn't mean much, but it still holds enough weight to your average fan that it seems important. Justin says, I got that small vinyl you released. Yeah, that was neat. That was Bill's idea. That was Rox's idea entirely. We probably wouldn't have done that without his input, so that was definitely a good move on his part. I've totally lost where we are. We're at the beginning of a turn, I think, right? That time I got a little too sidetracked and I forgot what we were doing. No, we're at Monster's turn. Treyas just moved. Okay, Stone Dread Warrior swinging the mace at the Barbarian. Hits with 3. That's gonna hurt. Draken attempts to defend. Defends 1, but takes the other 2. Yeah, I'd like to have more vinyl. Now I'll be honest, I'm not really one of those that thinks vinyl sounds way better than everything else. If I'm being totally honest, I hate to be contrarian about stuff, but I know that it's the physical media that is selling really well right now, and that would be to our benefit greatly. The problem is we just write too long. Vinyl's got a max limit of 44 minutes, 22 minutes per side. And we just don't write albums that short. If they tried to put Paramnesia on vinyl, it would have to be like a 4 or 5 vinyl package or something, and nobody's going to pay for that, you know? Even Boundless would have to be a double vinyl. It's an hour and 5 minutes long. Okay, now we are at Robert Tylan. Back over here in the yellow room, we need to get into that blue room. They know there's no traps down there, so they can bound in there without worrying about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just get him attacking this guy here. Robert Tylan swings his broadsword at the skeleton, hitting it with a 2. It defends 1, but not the other. It is still dead. Knocked it straight out of there. Justin says, I also got the bio vinyl, and I thought it was so cool you guys put me in the special thanks section. Yeah, that's right. Did we put you in a special thanks in Afterwinter? We should be. If we haven't, then that was certainly by accident. It's hard to keep track of everybody that should be in there. We've already submitted the Boundless stuff. I don't remember if you're in that one or not. I have to remember to do that from now on, because you definitely should be. Okay, Thraken. Back up to Thraken here. Having trouble remembering the turn order really bad this time around, too. Okay, Thraken on the stone gargoyle. He swings his broadsword and hits it with a 1. Buddy, you gotta hit it harder than that. They still haven't got damage on this guy. And unsurprisingly, it blocks that attack. This guy is certainly making up for how easy they took out those first 2. That was probably just thanks to Treyas' spells. And again, there's nothing else he can do here, so we might as well just let that be a stalemate for now. Coming back down here to Moonstone, she can hopefully take out that other skeleton. Honestly, she doesn't even need to move to do that. She can shoot at it. She pulls out her wand and sends a blast of energy at it, hitting it with a critical hit of 2. It blocks 1, but not the other, getting rid of it. Just as I figured it was because I was there for the background stuff for that Deliverance cover. Yeah, that was probably a big part of the reason. that was good stuff. We got to do a little bit of stuff like that for Afterwinter too. For Paramnesia, there was one event I think where we had some crowd stuff. We're probably going to do some more of that too. Since we don't play live, it's always good to have events like that, to have people come and be involved in the stuff. But no, we try to thank, you know, vocal supporters, and that's definitely on me. I totally should have had you in there all this time. When you don't play live, you got to make sure you're recognizing the people that care. So we appreciate that. Okay, that means, oh, she's got another action. We might as well get some searching done in this room. She can search for secret doors right where she's at. There aren't any, but at least they know. Back up here, we have Treyas now, who should be able to do some work on that Dread Warrior, hopefully. You could argue he should cast his Rock Skin spell. The Fire Breath spell may not be a bad idea since they're struggling with it. Let's have him physically attack first. So he is going to fire a blast of energy with his wand and hit that Dread Warrior with a 1. Again, I kind of doubt that's going to make it through. And yep, the Dread Warrior blocks it. Okay, so I think Fire Breath's not going to kill it, but it might at least get some chip damage in there. Let's card it though. Rock Skin or Fire of Wrath. Again, Courage is probably dumb, but they are having enough trouble with this that maybe it's not. Fire of Wrath or Rock Skin? He's going to go for Rock Skin. Okay, so he's going to cast that. Actually, it's a little bit smarter to cast that on Thraken at the moment, since Thraken's the one taking hits. So we'll go ahead and let him do that. Treyas casts Rock Skin on Thraken. That brings us then to the monster's turn, and the only monster on the board indeed is this Stone Dread Warrior, so let's do that. The Stone Dread Warrior swings its mace at Thraken, hitting him with a 1. Thraken now has slightly boosted defense because of the Rock Skin, and does manage to block the attack, but just barely. Man, if he had lost that Rock Skin immediately, that would have been something. All right, Robert Tylan down here in the blue room. We are making some progress on the map down here in this direction. Are we going to search for treasure or leave? He's doing treasure. Let's see what he finds. While you are searching, a hidden arrow shoots from the wall and strikes you. Lose 1 body point. Ouch. Luckily, he's still got pretty good health. He's still at 8 body points. He still has an action left here. The arrow trap doesn't end his turn, so let's get him moving. 1, 2, 3. Opening the door down into this bottom hallway, he finds... Can we see this? Yeah, I think we should be able to. A wall here. Also, a wall here. This is just barely off camera. Let's poke it over just a little bit. It's a wall right behind the dice cam there. You can kind of see it poking out. And finally, another door leading up into that red room. Don't stress it, bro. I just really like your projects. Plus, you have always been kind to me and my family. Yes, I appreciate that, man. Absolutely. Absolutely. Always appreciated the support. Always. All right, Robert is now looking out into this hallway. He doesn't have an action, but is he going to continue his movement? No, he is going to stop there. Thraken the Barbarian up here needs desperately to land a better hit on this guy. Should he drink his heroic brew? They're having enough trouble with this guy, that might not be a bad idea. Okay, they did actually land damage on him. I was wrong when I said they hadn't yet, but still, he's got 2 body points left. They got 2 heroes on him up there. He shouldn't have survived this long. Let's try one more turn, and if they still haven't landed a hit, let's have him do the heroic brew next turn. So the Barbarian swings his broadsword, hitting the Dread Warrior with a 1. Yeah, every time. And the Dread Warrior miraculously doesn't block it. Okay, still not dead, but they managed to land a hit, finally. Hopefully Treyas will finish it off then. Okay, back over here we have Moonstone the Druid, who just needs to move down through that room. Oh, I just realized that we've, yeah, this is going to be an interesting situation. I've just remembered. 1, 2, she didn't get very much. Nothing else to do in that room. We are back up here at Treyas, who is in the hallway trying to help with this guy. If he doesn't land this hit, I think we probably ought to use the Fire of Wrath spell. Treyas sends a blast of energy from his wand and hits the Dread Warrior with a 1. This might kill it if it manages to not roll any black shields. Okay, and it doesn't. Whatever. The magical blast bursts it into lots of stone little chunks. It is gone. That allows Treyas to move with his other action. Around the corner he goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, we're not off camera here. Now into this new area, he can see that there is a hallway that goes off this direction. However, standing in the other corner is one, hopefully final, stone Dread Warrior. So they are not done with their difficult battles just yet. Now, he can't do anything about this guy, but he also hasn't finished his movement yet. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Excuse me, now he can actually see down this hallway right here. Luckily, I don't even think we're gonna have to move the camera for this. There is a wall right here, all the way to the right side of the camera, pretty much on camera there, and a door down into that blue and black room right there. Now again, he doesn't have the actions to do anything search-wise for that hallway, and he can go ahead and use his last movement to go here. He does know this square is not trapped, but they're going to need to do something about that hallway, and he can't do anything about the Dread Warrior just yet. Monster's turn, and that Dread Warrior is the only one on the board, so let's get it going. 1, 2. Oh geez, he's destroyed the walls into the room. His stone cape caught the wall and just took the wall right with it. The Dread Warrior swings its mace at Treyas, hitting him with a 1. Treyas does not defend, dropping him to 9 body points. Okay, back to Robert Tylan down here. Yes, he did stop specifically to search for traps. So we're going to start him out by searching for traps in this short little hallway down here, and there are none. Second action, secret doors or move. He's moving. Yes, I mean, again, that makes kind of sense, right? Because where would a secret door go if there was one? It would either have to lead back into the room they're already standing in, or into this red room and there's already a door there. So where would there even be one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Didn't quite make it to the door, though. Thraken the Barbarian. Get him around that corner so he can help with that Dread Warrior. Hopefully they don't have as much trouble with this one as they did the last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And he can put an arrow in his bow and fire. Okay, hold on. That skull was a cheat. Didn't actually go down the dice tower. Okay, he lands 1 hit on the Dread Warrior. And the Dread Warrior defends it. Not a good sign. Not a good sign. Back down over here with the Druid. She is also moving out into the hallway. With a decent movement, she might actually reach the door. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And she is going to open this door up into this red room where we find no further doors. Nothing, in fact, other than 1 treasure chest. Right there at the end of the room. Awfully tantalizing to a treasure-seeking druid. Is she going to stop here and search for traps? No, she is not. Well, that's unfortunate, because there's a pit trap right there. She's been doing pretty bad about that, not searching for traps before she walks into a room. Let's see if she jumps over it. She does indeed manage to jump this trap. Now the next question is, where does she jump to? Is she jumping back? Is she jumping forward, or to one of these sides? We'll just use the card suits and we'll say hearts, diamonds, clubs, spades. Clubs, so she actually jumped back from the trap. Okay, this is especially a problem because the only hero in the party currently who can disarm traps is Treyas, and he is very far away from being able to help right at the moment. So, he's going to have to do some walking, but they're going to have to figure that out, unless they're going to jump that pit trap. Okay, speaking of Treyas, it is his turn, so let's get back up here to him, where he is now in combat with this Dread Warrior. So, now might not be a terrible time for the courage. Let's card this. Courage, Fire of Wrath, or physical attack. Okay, high number is physical attack. Treyas pulls out his wooden staff and takes a swing at the Stone Dread Warrior, missing it entirely. Okay, second action. Courage, Fire of Wrath, search for traps down the new hallway, search for secret doors. Down the new hallway. Okay. Okay. He's searching for traps, secret doors down this hallway. Whatever, it's only, you know, the dumbest of the 4 options. There are no secret doors down that new hallway. Oh, jeez. Bohemia says, smells like a trap. Yeah, yes. Oh, man. Justin says, are you guys going to do student bands or have recitals? I'd eventually like to see Toby perform when he gets better. Absolutely. We do a yearly recital usually in November. I don't remember if he was taking lessons last November. I don't think he was, but even if he was, he would have been too new to participate. So yeah, usually we do a recital every November. No plans for student bands yet. I'm not sure yet. I'd like to, but I don't think I have enough students that could carry it for the kind of less experienced students. I think that's kind of a necessary thing for the student bands, is to have a few students who are good enough to carry it, so the less experienced ones can get more experience. From a teaching perspective, those were absolutely top tier for getting people to practice more. There were so many of Dad's students where being in the student band program was the turning point that got them to take it seriously, and suddenly they got really, really good. So it would be good to have that, but I'm not sure that I've got the resources, and I'm quite sure that I don't have the time at the moment, but maybe eventually. If nothing else, recitals for sure. All right, so now that Treyas has wasted his turn missing and doing dumb stuff, it is now the monster's turn, and right now that Dread Warrior is still the only one on the board, so he is going to swing his mace at Treyas. Also missing. Oh, geez. Sometimes you gotta wonder what's going on. All the heroes and monsters have ADHD or something. A squirrel ran by in the dungeon, and they just kind of like were doing this while the squirrel ran past. All right, let's see. What do we got here going on? Robert Tylan is next on the list, and he is down here. And now that he knows the only way through there is trying to jump a pit trap, it's kind of questionable whether that's a good idea to go in there. They still haven't searched the room for traps, so there may be other ones. If that chest is trapped, there's nothing they can do about that. I don't know that there are any players who would try to jump that trap. We should probably still card it, because you can't account for it like that, but I do think we should double weight him just leaving the area, assuming there's nothing he can do. So let's do that. A low card or medium card would be he's just going to leave the area. A high card is he's going to try to jump that trap to get to the chest. King is redraw. 8 is a medium card. So yes, he is just going to leave the area. And he rolled an 8 too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we'll just send him back up, and when we get a chance, we'll have Treyas turn around, since he is the only one who can do anything about traps. I'm going to reshuffle my randomizer deck real quick. Now this is an interesting lore thing. I wonder if you guys have any ideas on this. This is something that I always kind of struggled with. So right now, on this current turn, we could have Treyas, when it gets to him, turn around and head towards this room. If we were playing this game with a real set of players, each controlling their own hero, they would know, because they're all sitting next to each other, that they need to get the wizard down there because there's there's some traps down there. But if this were actually the 4 heroes, Atreus is so far away from them, he would have no way of knowing that he needs to go where they are, or even have no way of knowing where they are. So it's kind of a weird thing. If we're playing it like normal Hero Quest would be played, then yeah, the players know what the other players know. They can all see the whole map. They could turn the wizard around and head him back. But if we were trying to play this like a story, you know, as if this were really happening, how would the wizard know that he needs to go down there? It's kind of a weird back and forth thing. Back up here in this fight, we are at Thraken. Thraken is going to load an arrow into his bow and fire at the Stone Dread Warrior. Go. Hitting it with a 2. Oh, we got a dice stuck up in the tower. That doesn't happen very often. And the Dread Warrior manages to defend both of them. Oh, man. Maybe he ought to be doing that heroic brew. Now, he also is looking into this short hallway. Being that he is adjacent to one of the squares in the hallway, he can perform searches. So we can go ahead and use his second action to search that small hallway for traps, and there are none. The Druid is now looking into this room. She might as well be doing some other searches before she leaves, because if there's no other traps, she could probably risk jumping that pit trap to search the treasure chest. So what is she going to do? Search for traps or search for secret doors? She's going to search for traps. That's definitely the better option here. There is indeed 2 more traps in that room. There is another pit trap right in front of the treasure chest, and the chest itself is trapped. So definitely no reason to go in there. They need Atreus down here. So we'll use her other action. Well, actually, let's card this. Secret doors or leave. She's gonna leave. That's what I was gonna have her do anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there we go. Justin says, I'm an RP guy, so I always separate player and character knowledge whenever possible. Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of what I feel about it too. Like, the wizard shouldn't know until these guys get up there to tell him. Yeah, it's definitely a weird thing. Okay, Atreus. Now, I think in this case, I think we will go with going ahead and sending Atreus down there only for the sake of time. It will add a significant amount of time to the quest if we don't let him go down there until they can get clear over there. So it'll save us some time, even though if it were real, it wouldn't happen like that. However, before we send him moving back in that direction, he might as well take a shot at this Dread Warrior. Either Fire of Wrath or physically attacking. Let's card that. Is he going to cast his Fire of Wrath spell or physically attack? He is going to physically attack. So he swings his wooden staff. Oh, this was a good move, apparently. Hitting the Dread Warrior with a critical hit of 2. And the Dread Warrior doesn't defend either of them. That doesn't kill it, but that leaves it pretty well damaged. And then we're going to use his other action to start him moving back towards the room with the trap chest. Except not very fast. 1, 2. Oh, man. That sounds about right. Bohemius, if you want to give a lore solution, the only way is for Mentor to advise with the Far Voice spell. That is a good point, Bohemius, because we do have precedent for that throughout the other quests. Mentor telling them stuff. That is probably the best option. That's definitely a good idea, is to have the idea that the Wizard Master is kind of letting them all share the knowledge across the table. Yes, yes. And Justin Paul says, unless they shout down the hall. Yes, absolutely. Okay, again, monster's turn. The only monster on the board is this Stone Dread Warrior, who is now going to be attacking Thraken. I realize that this Dread Warrior is kind of starting to do the limbo. He is leaning really far back. It's probably hard to tell on there. This was something that was a mythic tier thing. On their first try mass producing all of this stuff, some of the minis got a little bit bent up, in transit, because I don't think the prints weren't very good, or the materials they used were kind of questionable. Several of the minis that I got out of my mythic tier were bent a little. Not bad enough to throw any of them away or anything. One of the skeletons I had out earlier was like that too. His scythe was like touching the top of his skull. And this Dread Warrior is kind of doing the limbo, but I think it's kind of funny, honestly. So I'm not worried about fixing them. Okay. Oh gosh, I've distracted myself. Did the Dread Warrior attack already, or did he just move? Oh, dang. Somebody help me out with that. I just distracted myself so hard I lost my place. Did I only move the Dread Warrior? Did he attack yet? Oh gosh, that's pathetic. That's pathetic how quickly I forgot what I was doing. Again, there's a decent amount of lag between what's really happening and that. Oh, Gohan's here. Good to see you, man. No worries on being late. I'm glad you're here. The skeleton had an itch. Yeah, that's exactly right. I'm gonna go ahead and move. Robert Tylan, but you guys let me know if I forgot to have that Dread Warrior attack, and we'll come back and do that. I feel like I didn't have him attack. Okay, Robert is moving along the hallway. Here he is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Gohan, we are searching for yet another lost wizard. That is the second time. The Emperor here in this land is real bad about keeping track of his wizards. So we are searching for yet another lost wizard and finding nothing but undead monsters in his tower. So it's not really a good sign. It is actually Thraken's turn. Haven't seen anything yet, so I'm not sure if maybe you guys also aren't sure if that guy attacked or not. I think I'm going to go ahead and let the Dread Warrior attack. I feel like I didn't. I think I only moved him and then started rambling about him doing the limbo instead of attacking. And I'll be honest, we haven't lost enough body points for it to be a terrible thing if the monster gets to attack. Gohan says a wizard arrives exactly when he is meant to. That's exactly right. Exactly right. Okay, the Dread Warrior swings its mace at Thraken and hits him with a 1. Thraken is still benefiting from the Rock Skin spell, giving him an extra defense, but unfortunately it doesn't help. He takes that 1 body point, dropping him down to 5 points and getting rid of the Rock Skin spell. Thraken is able to immediately attack right back now, since it was his turn. He swings his broadsword at the Stone Dread Warrior and hits it with a 2. Hopefully that'll be the end of it. Should be. It defends one, but not the other, meaning that it is dead. This isn't a super hard quest, but having 4 Stone Dread Warriors that have the stats of gargoyles is not nothing. That is for sure. Thraken is then able to take his second action as a movement down that hallway. 1, 2, 3. Opening the door into this blue and black room. You get that a little better on camera. In this room, he finds another doorway, a table, and again, this is a wizard tower, so let's put a carpet under that table. There we go. And another skeleton. Where's my skeletons? Here we go. Just one this time. Okay, and let's see. Is he going to stop here or move into the room? He is going to move into the room. So he went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lucky for him, neither of those squares are trapped, since he didn't check it, which the heroes are doing a very bad job with. I've said it before and I will say it again. It is crazy to me, considering the level of randomization, how the characters seem to do things consistently. Some quests, they do really good about searching for traps, and then other quests, it's like they almost never do it. It's wild. You'd think it would be at least a little more even given the randomization, but it's like the heroes have developed a little bit of personality, despite their personality being randomized. Moonstone the Druid is over here at the corner of the screen, or I guess at the top of the screen here, and did not get a very good movement. 1, 2, 3. Where's she sitting on health? She has lost 3 body points. It would be good for her to get her shapeshift back, but she's still at a point where Pixie wouldn't put her back at full, and Life Force and either of her potions would be overkill. Yeah, let's leave her. Leave her down for now, unless she needs it. Excuse me. Finally, Treyas is at the top of this camera angle. We need to poke the camera back up there to him. He is currently headed back the other way so that he can get to that chest. Oh man, they're just getting garbage rolls all of a sudden. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all he got. Dustin says the wizard called in sick and is going to great lengths to make it believable. He just needs a day off. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Oh look, actually this is funny. This is another one of those Avalon Hill miniatures that I was mentioning. The skeleton that I just put in that room, where his scythe is so bent that it's almost touching his head. This definitely came out of that mythic tier box. Okay, and Go Ahead says I show up and everyone gets worse. Oof. No. Oh, that's funny. No, that's been this whole quest, if I'm being totally honest, is nobody's searching for traps, everybody's getting garbage movement rolls. It took the heroes forever to get rid of some easy monsters earlier. It's just how the dice are sometimes, I think. Monster's turn, it's just the bent old skeleton over here. So he's gonna move up here and he's gonna swing his crooked scythe at Thraken, hitting him with a 1. Thraken defends the attack. All right, back over to Robert Tylan. He is at the doorway of this. Rigged. Yes. He's got a pretty decent movement roll there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's off camera, isn't he? 8, 9, 10. Okay, we'll leave him off camera for now because we're going to need this camera for the druid when we get there. Back over here at Thraken. He should be able to give this skeleton death pretty simple here. He swings his broadsword at the skeleton, hitting it with a 2. And the skeleton does not defend. That's what you get for your weapon being all messed up. There we go, closing all the skeleton drawers. With his other action, this room is completely unsearched. So, traps, secret doors, treasure, or leave. And normally, we wouldn't let him leave, except all the other heroes are going to have to pass through this room, so it's not a big deal if it doesn't get searched for treasure right now. He is going to do this treasure search right now. Let's see what he finds. A wandering monster. Ah! And as we established earlier, the wandering monster in this quest is a mummy, which is definitely not the sort of thing you want to run into when you're alone. Here we go. I'm gonna go with a good old Milton Bradley mummy for this right here. A mummy pops out of nowhere and swings its bandaged fist at Thraken, hitting him with a 1. He defends the attack. He was ready. Back over here with our druid. She's also just moseying along. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not in a big hurry. It's cool. Everything's fine. They probably found the wizard by now even. It's no big deal. Over here we need Treyas, who needs to be moved. Here we go. And he's trying to get back over there where the druid and the berserker just came from. And he is also just moseying as hard as he can. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're tired, all right? They didn't sleep very well. There was roots all in their backs, in their sleeping bags. They couldn't get any sleep. This is stressful work. Stressful work. Justin says, call Brendan Fraser. Yes. Go get rid of that mummy real quick. Monster's turn. We do indeed have a monster on the board. Sorry for jumping cameras real fast there. However, this mummy attacked already on this turn because it was a wandering monster. So if it survives to the next turn, it will get to attack. Back up over here, we are at the Berserker, Robert Tylan. See if we can get him over to that room to help. He rolled a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So as per usual, nope. Thraken is down in that room with that mummy. Oh, right. Again, I'm just garbage camera moves right now. Here we go. Thraken swings his broadsword, hitting the mummy with a 1. That's not gonna kill it, buddy. It defends the attack. You gotta hit harder than 1. You got 3 attack dice, man. There's still some searching to do in this room. Traps or secret doors? It's gonna be traps. And there are no traps in this room. The druid, then. Yes, here she is. Can we get a decent dice roll this time? Yeah, that's not too bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. She's seeing what's going on with Treyas there. We can go ahead and assume that she's telling him about what's going on down there. And Treyas, indeed, it is his turn. Come on, man. We don't have any spells to move faster either. Nope, we don't have Swift Wind or nothing. So he's just walking. Thankfully, though, not too bad of a dice roll this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Finally, he's getting at least a little closer. He's still got a little ways to go, but not too bad. Monster's turn. The mummy is now able to attack. The mummy swings a fist at Thraken, hitting him with 2. He blocks 1 but takes the other. He's actually starting to get low on health. He does have a potion of healing. We should probably do that on the next turn, or else he's going to be in trouble. All right, Robert Tylan, the Berserker. Let's not change cameras. He's right up here. Get into that room to help. We're going to need help in the other rooms down there, too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. He's in the room, but he's not quite close enough to do anything. Berserkers are not allowed to have long range in this game, so he can't quite help, but he's really close. We are now at Thraken, who's standing right there. Let's start his turn by drinking that potion of healing that he's got. So go ahead and discard this into the treasure pile. And erase 1, 2, 3, and 4 damage. This puts him up to 8 body points. As per usual, drinking a potion is not an action, so he still has both of his actions here. He swings his broadsword at the mummy and misses, because he was too busy drinking the potion. And I'm throwing dice again. Darn. Actually, there is nothing he can do with his second action. Oh, I lied. He can search for secret doors. I guess we could have let the Berserker do that too. No secret doors in this room, so either way it didn't matter. We are now at the Druid. We'll go ahead and... yeah, we'll move the camera here. She's closer to this camera. There she is. Let's get her moving so she can also get down there to help. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not too bad. We immediately moved her right back off the camera. Yes, chug, chug, chug. That's right. Let me get that, make sure that stays there. This camera, there's where she ended up, right in the corner. So she's pretty close to being able to help as well. And then we are going to go back over here to Treyas, who is closing in on that treasure chest. And we just have to really hope that he doesn't just botch disarming all these traps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So he is really close, but not quite there. Okay, monster's turn. We have the mummy yet again attacking Thraken. Swinging a fist at the barbarian. He hits with a 2. The barbarian defends 1, but takes the other hit, dropping him to 7 points. Okay, Robert Tylan, Berserker, right there, ready to go. Let's get him over there, and I think let's do something special. 1, 2, 3, because mummies are not the easiest monsters. We are going to have Robert use his Enrage skill. This is something that I don't think we have used. This is a Berserker-specific skill. As an action, you may lose up to 2 body points to immediately make an attack, even if you have already attacked this turn. Add additional attack dice equal to the number of body points you lose. Oh, I see. I should have read that card before I showed it to you, because we could have let him attack and then do it again. Probably should have done that. I'm going to remember that for next time. But we are going to go ahead and cost him 2 body points, bringing him down to 6 total. This will allow him to make an attack against that mummy with 5 dice instead of 3. See what he gets. He makes a very angry attack against the mummy, hitting it with 3. The mummy attempts to defend. Oh my gosh. And manages to defend 2 of the hits, only taking 1 damage and somehow clinging to life. Oh man. What a ripoff. I thought that was gonna let us get rid of that guy. It was a good try. Okay, while we're here, Thraken is also here. Now, he can't get mad and attack, but he can still swing pretty hard. So Thraken swings his broadsword, hitting the mummy with another 2 body points of damage. The mummy's going to have to get 2 black shields to survive this. But it doesn't. It defends one, but not the other, finally taking it out. That was a hard wandering monster. That guy did not want to go down. Thraken's other action is going to have to just be movement. All right. 1, 2, 3. Opening the door down into this room, we find another door right here. Another door right here. And 1 gargoyle. We use the good old Milton Bradley gargoyle right here. Yeah. Now that's a work of art right there. This guy is hanging out right here. He is not a stone statue. He is alive and he is ready to fight. And Thraken is out of actions. So, real good. Opening a door on your second action, not a smart move. He does still have some moves left, yo. Yet. I can combine too many words there. Is he going to stop here? No, he is not. He's moving right up to that gargoyle and getting real lucky that none of those squares are trapped. All right, Druid. We definitely need the Druid now. That's not the right camera, even a little bit. Also not that. Okay, I'm losing it. I haven't had enough sleep. Druid. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. She is within line of sight of Thraken, but she doesn't have any offensive spells, so she can't really help. I would say she's not within line of sight of the gargoyle, or she could shoot at it. Yeah, I'd say that her line of sight absolutely passes that wall, so she cannot see the gargoyle. Can't help yet, but she's in position. Okay, down over here. Yes, right camera this time. Atreus is hopefully going to at least get to that first trap or close. Okay, let's see if that gets us somewhere. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's so close. He's looking into the room he needs to get to. He can go ahead and search that room for secret doors and find none. Next turn, he'll finally be able to get doing useful stuff and then get back up there to the action. Monster's turn. We now have a big scary gargoyle attacking Thraken. The gargoyle cracks its whip at the barbarian. Oh man, hitting him with a critical hit of 4. That is bad news. The barbarian attempts to defend and only manages to defend one of those hits, taking 3 body points of damage. Boy, it's a good thing we healed him. He is back down to 4 body points. This might be bad. Okay, down in here we are now at Robert Tylan, who hopefully can get in there to help attack. Yes, plenty of moves. 1, 2, 3. However, is he going to stop and search for traps? Nope, he is also bounding in there. Makes sense, he's a berserker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No traps in those areas. Now, he's not low enough on health to trigger any of his other things yet. So, he swings his broadsword at the gargoyle, hitting it with a 1. The gargoyle does not defend. Surprising. It's definitely not dead, but it is a little bit damaged. We are now at Thraken the Barbarian, who is standing there losing health. I think it would be in our benefit to try and get rid of this guy quick. Let's let him drink his heroic brew. So we will also put that in the treasure discard pile. Erase that off his sheet here. I forgot to erase the potion of healing too. We'll go ahead and get rid of both of those things while we're looking at it. The heroic brew allows him to attack twice as a single action. So he'll get some pretty good damage in here, hopefully. Attack number 1, he swings his broadsword, hitting the gargoyle with a critical hit of 3. Are we not even gonna need the second attack? The gargoyle defends 2 and takes 1 body point of damage. Good, this wasn't all for nothing. For his second attack, the barbarian again swings his broadsword, hitting the gargoyle with a 1. This could be the killing blow, as long as it doesn't defend anything. But it does. It defends actually 2 potential hits it defended there. Not this turn, but a valiant effort. He does have a second action, however, that he can do some searching in this room. Is it going to be traps or secret doors? It's going to be traps. There are no traps in this room, and I almost didn't even need to say that because they've stepped on just about every square in there already. The druid. What can she do that's helpful? She can shoot, but she could also potentially heal that barbarian, which would be good because if the gargoyle gets another critical hit, that could be it for him. So first off, let's go 1-2. And let's go ahead and heal. Now we'll use her drinking on the job. Tisk, tisk, that's right. We'll use her lesser healing spell here. So she has 2 healing spells, and she's gonna use Pixie. Yes, okay, I was just making sure that Pixie didn't have to be used on herself. This Pixie will heal 2 body points for Thraken, so that at least takes him out of 1-hit kill zone. It's gonna put him back up to 6 body points. I wish she could have attacked too, but at least she's done something pretty useful there. Coming back over here to Treus the Wizard, we need to step him on this pit trap and he can attempt to disarm it. Now he has a toolkit, which gives him 50-50 chance. As long as this is a shield of either color, he has successfully gotten rid of that trap. If it's a skull, he fell in it. Good. So he got rid of that trap, and that does take up his whole turn. So he moved, and he used his other action to disarm a trap. Now the good news is you can open a chest from any adjacent square, so he actually doesn't have to step on this pit trap or get rid of it. He can come over here or over here to try to disarm that trap. So the other pit trap is totally avoidable. Monster's turn. The gargoyle now has 2 possible options to attack, and it is going to go for Thraken. The gargoyle swings its serrated sword at the barbarian, hitting him with a 2. Darn it. The barbarian does not defend either hit, going back down to 4 body points. Ouch. Now hopefully this will be it for the gargoyle because we've got 3 of the 4 heroes in there all aiming attacks at it. So there shouldn't be any reason they don't get rid of it, right? Robert Tylan the Berserker swings his broadsword at the gargoyle and misses. Oh, I shouldn't have said anything. Shouldn't have said anything. He can use his other action to search this room for secret doors and find nothing. Thraken the Barbarian, also standing right here, swings his broadsword at the gargoyle and misses. No way. No way. Guys, this is not the time. Nothing else he can do with his turn. They can't search for treasure until the gargoyle is dead. So it is now on Moonstone to try and take care. So again, Thraken is down to 1-hit territory. If the gargoyle gets all skulls and Thraken doesn't defend, he's dead. So, oof. Now at least she's within range of both things. So let's do first things first. She is going to fire a blast of energy from her wand at the gargoyle and misses. Oh boy, okay. And we're gonna let her use her other action to cast her Life Force spell on the barbarian, which restores 4 of his body points. She has now used both of her healing spells on him. Hopefully it won't be useless. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. That puts them back up to 8 body points there, which I imagine he will lose immediately. Justin says, in the next Afterwinter album, you should put a quote from a Hero Quest only people will play will get. Yeah. Dad actually did that in Paramnesia. If you've got a physical copy of Paramnesia, the band shots in the booklet, he is doing the original Milton Bradley hero dwarf pose. So he's got his Gene Simmons axe base, and let me get that hero out. I don't want to get too distracted here, but I do think it's funny. I'm not sure if you've got a physical copy of that, but in the band shots, my dad is standing exactly like this, with the hand on his hip and his axe base upside down in the ground, just like that, which I just think is hilarious. It's such a tiny, missable Hero Quest detail that is in our album in the band pictures. Oh. Okay, gosh, I can't believe that. I can't believe they all missed. All three of them, not a single skull. Jeez. Okay, back over here to Atreus. Let's hope he has some better luck. Can he get up to that treasure chest? Yes, surely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll get him over here, and he needs to try and disarm the chest. It's going to be exactly the same thing. If he can get a shield of either color, he will have successfully disarmed that trap. And if it's a skull, he'll have triggered it, and we'll have to read to see what it is. Yeah, that's how this turn is going. Let's see, what trap did he just get? This chest has a trap with a poison needle in it. If a hero searches for treasure before the trap is disarmed, they will lose 2 body points. Ouch. Luckily, Atreus was still doing pretty good on body points, so he's only down to 7. But still. Bohemia says, yes, it is better if you use the druid as a healer for the other heroes at the beginning until you are geared up. Totally agreed. Since she's guaranteed 2 healing spells. I mean, I guess in normal Hero Quest rules, the elf and the wizard are probably guaranteed at least 1 healing spell as well. But yeah, she is definitely the healer. Okay, well, now that we've had that, all that happen, let's see what the gargoyle does. The way this turn is going, it can't possibly be good. First off, who's he going to attack? He is actually going to turn his attention to Robert Tylan. The gargoyle swings his serrated sword at the berserker, hitting him with a 3. Again, pretty bad news. The berserker blocks 1, but loses 2 body points. Here's the good news, though. This triggers another one of his berserker skills. I think we have used this once before. This triggers his retaliation. This skill can only be used if you have 5 or fewer body points, which he now does. You may use the skill immediately after you have taken damage from an adjacent monster. Immediately make an attack against that monster. This does not use up an action for your next turn. So he gets kind of an extra attack here. In retaliation, Robert Tylan swings his broadsword, hitting the gargoyle with a 2. The gargoyle blocks 1. Actually, this dice didn't quite land. Let's re-roll that one. No! No! Okay, he blocked both. You're going to have fun with a reliable 5 attack dice battle axe. Yeah, yeah, that's for sure. Oh, I can't believe the gargoyle blocked that attack, but that's how this turn has been. Okay, new turn. New turn means better dice rolls, right? We have to believe that. So Robert Tylan is now taking his regular turn. Justin says, I want to play so bad. This looks more fun than Gloomhaven even. I mean, I'm biased, but I totally agree. Let me figure out how to get guests on here. We got to make that happen. The Berserker now gets to take his regular turn. Now he isn't low enough to trigger his Frenzy skill yet, but he is close. He swings with his broadsword, hitting the gargoyle with 1. This still could be the killing blow. It just has to not roll any black shields. Oh my gosh, we got lucky. See? New turn, better dice rolls. The gargoyle is dead. That was getting dicey there for a second. I was thinking this quest was going a little too easy. Guess I was wrong. Okay, Robert Tylan is then able to either search for treasure or open one of those doors. Let's hope it's treasure. because opening a door on your second action is always dumb. Nope, he's going for that. He's going to open a door. Okay, buddy, which door are you opening? He's going to open this door into the green room, assuming he rolls enough to get over there. 1, 2, 3, 4. He opens into this green room. Now, we are pretty close to done with this quest. This is the second to last room here, but still. In this room, there is a weapons rack, and I do believe this is the Mage of the Mirror variant weapons rack, which I like. This one feels very chunky. That weapons rack goes right there. We have 2 skeletons in this room, along with their buddy, a mummy. These are both going to be Milton Bradley skeletons here. Again, no difference in stats or anything. Just like calling it out. Ooh, it's a whole room full of classic HeroQuest monsters. 2 skeletons and a mummy. Now again, Robert Tyling can't do anything about this. He's out of actions. And I don't think we're going to draw cards regarding whether or not he walks in there. He is low on health. He would get surrounded by monsters. It's dumb for him to walk in there. However, he is at the beginning of the hero line, so if all 3 of them go in there, that would actually make it not so bad. Okay, changed my mind. Let's card that after all. Is he going to stop here or walk in there? Okay, he is going to stop there. He doesn't have an action to do anything, but he's going to stop right there. Thraken. Treasure or deal with the new monsters we just opened up. He's going to search for treasure. Anybody want to take bets on whether this is a wandering monster? The way this has been going. Oh man, okay, not a wandering monster, but also not necessarily good. You find yourself drawn to a strange idol. You realize that you are reaching for it even though sudden pain grows as you get closer. Roll a movement dice for each of your mind points. If you roll a 6, you manage to stop yourself from touching it. If you do not roll a 6, you lose 2 body points. Now, barbarians are not necessarily the smartest bunch. He's only getting 2 dice here. He does manage to stop himself from touching the Dread Idol. Ooh. That's a newer thing. I think that's from the Jungles of Delthrak, but I want to say I changed what it does. But I really like the idea of a Dread Idol as a trap, so I had to add those in. Okay, he does have another action, but there's really not much he can do. Can he see that skeleton? Yeah, you know what? I'd say there's line of sight to that skeleton at the top, right? Yeah, totally unimpeded by a wall. He can shoot. Good. He puts an arrow in his short bow and fires at the skeleton, hitting the skeleton with a 2. The skeleton does not defend. Little tiny bit of luck we're getting after a kind of garbage set of turns there. The druid then is able to get some stuff going in here. Now she could just about see that other skeleton from her current position. That's a stretch, but we can move her and make it less of a stretch. If we even move her 1, which we don't need to roll for because we're guaranteed at least 2, we should then be able to, by that same logic, say that she can see that skeleton. The mummy is questionable. I'd say that does pass the wall, but I'd say she can see that skeleton. She, long range a little bit less though. She fires a blast from her oak wand and misses. Okay, over here, Atreus, who just got poisoned, is now finally able to open this chest and get back over there. He searches this room for treasure. Opening that chest, he finds... Oh, right. This is a weird thing. He finds a flask filled with an unidentifiable purple liquid. I am not allowed to say what the liquid is, so I guess we ought to card whether or not he drinks it or keeps it. Red, he drinks it. Black, he keeps it. He is going to drink the unidentifiable purple liquid for the fact that it might be something helpful. Although, nope. This is definitely not helpful. Unfortunately, this liquid tastes absolutely terrible and immediately causes Atreus to turn to stone for 5 turns. During this time, he cannot move, attack, or cast spells. However, he also can't be harmed. So luckily he's not dead, but this pretty much takes him out of the rest of the quest, because I bet we won't do much more than 5 more turns. Yeah, get out of here, bot. No kidding. That's 3 bots so far. That is by far the first time, by far the most we've had of those. Best viewers, huh? Sure. You just go ahead and keep increasing my chat count. That's gonna make the stream summary look real good. All right. Jug, jug, jug. Yes. Oh man, I can't believe he did it. Oh, and again, that gif is so amazing. Just says, if you want, I can probably make time to come play next week. I'll be on second shift, so even if I gotta work, I can probably make it after. I would get off at 11, and it doesn't take a whole hour to get from where I live to where you do. Yeah, if I can figure that out, that would definitely be fun. I've been meaning to get that figured out too, for James to come down here and play, because we used to play weekly, he and I, and this has kind of like killed that until I can figure out a way to get him down here. All right, monster's turn. Our monster's on the board. Gohan wants to play too. Yes, I know. We need to figure out how far away do you live? Is it appropriate to ask where you live? I am like right on the Ohio-Indiana line. So I think Justin lives in Indiana, but like maybe half an hour from me. Get over here, everybody. Bohemius, you too. Hop a plane, buddy. Get over here and let's play this thing. Monster's turn. We've got a mummy and a skeleton. Now only one of them is going to get up here to attack. Let's see which one it is. It's going to be the skeleton. The skeleton swings its scythe at the berserker, hitting him with a critical hit of 2. See what he defends. He does not defend either one of them. Ooh, he is also in bad shape. That actually drops him down to 2. Now that does open him up to use Frenzy, but it's not appropriate yet at the moment. Gohan says I'm definitely too far for that. It's about 9 to 10 hours from where I am to Legend Valley. Okay, I'm not sure what Legend Valley is either. I feel like that's something I should know. Gotcha, yeah. There's definitely a way, and Bohemius would know about that too, because you guys play kind of remote, right, on the HeroQuest fans channel that Bohemius is a part of. You guys are all remote, and you still make it work really well. There's definitely a way to make that happen. Thornville, okay, a little more familiar with that. Either way, long drive. That's for sure. Okay, we probably need to get Robert out of there, because he's down to 2 body points. We don't want anybody to die. He does have access to his frenzy skill now, and essentially what that would mean is that he could attack, if he were right in the middle of everybody, he could attack all adjacent monsters and diagonal monsters as a single action. Now right now that would only hit the one skeleton, so there's really no reason to use that just right at the moment. Bohemia says, I'm Italian, but I live in upstate New York. Still too far away. Oh, so you are in the US. Okay. Yeah, I heard your voice on the HeroQuest fans channel, so I figured, I knew there was some sort of accent there. That's neat that you're still fairly close. New York is closer, but definitely still a long drive. Only went there for a couple of gatherings. Closer to me than they are, yeah. Absolutely. We drove through New York on the way to Vermont once when I was young. Kind of remember that. We didn't drive through New York City, but we came within view of it. Seems like 2, or maybe I'm remembering this wrong. This was a long time ago. This probably would have been 2005. I remember we came within view of the prison that Mark David Chapman is in, the guy that murdered John Lennon. I remember we could kind of see that from where we were. We must have been on an interstate. Okay, Robert Tylan, we need to get him attacking this skeleton and then get him out of there. He swings his broadsword, hitting the skeleton with a 1. And he does manage to get rid of that skeleton. Awesome. And then we need to make sure he is not the one on the front lines since he is close to death. So let's go ahead and take him back into the corner as long as he's got the moves for it. Yeah, that'll do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get him off the front line there. Justin says, Discord, you would still have to control the board yourself, but you would have player input at least. Absolutely. Gohan says, it's only because I'm upstate New York as well, Capital District area. Nice. That's still closer than I expected, if I'm being honest. You know, there's a lot of areas that are quite far away. We're only a couple of states away at least, but I'm on the western side of Ohio. Kind of like right in the middle on the western border is where we are. The town that I'm in is like an hour north of Dayton, Ohio, or about an hour and a half west of Columbus. Okay, where does that put us? We are at Thraken. Now, Thraken's also low on body points. No, he is not, because the druid healed him. So he can definitely afford to get on the front lines. The question is he going to go in there or stay in the doorway? He's going to stay in the doorway, okay. Next question, is he going to search for traps or is he going to fire at the mummy? He's going to search for traps. Okay, not sure that's what I would have done, but again, I always complain when they don't do it, so can't complain now. There are no traps in that room. Go ahead and says, I'm on the eastern side of mine. Yeah, so you're real far away. It takes an hour to drive into Massachusetts. Gotcha. Yeah, so that definitely would be a long drive. There was a time back in 2018 that the band that I was in at the time drove from here, from Ohio, to Los Angeles for a gig. Not even a set of gigs, a gig. We rented a 15-passenger van, loaded everybody but the diva vocalist and all of our equipment into that van, and drove literally across the entire country, played one show, and then drove back. The show was fun. I played to more people here in Ohio than there were at that show, but it was a really fun bonding experience. Druid. Let's just get her moving one right there so that she's within range of that mummy so that she can at least be firing at it. She fires a blast of energy from her wand, hitting the mummy with a critical hit of 2. She might actually knock it out in one hit. The mummy does not defend. All right. We're cleaning up at the end here. I need to get you to one of my game nights. Saturday's typically busy. Kind of depends. Now that I've forced an exit on most of my band stuff, it's opened up Saturday nights. However, one of the big reasons that I opened those options was so that I could be home to help Savannah take care of the kids. So it kind of depends. Gohan says you got paid in life experience, and that's exactly right too. Ironically, the members of that band, Justin knows this story. So the band was called Biogenesis. There were 6 members, a lead vocalist, and then myself, my dad on bass, a guy named James playing guitar, my younger brother on keyboards, and a guy named Eli playing drums. And pretty soon after that gig, like I said, the singer didn't go with us. So the singer flew, the rest of us drove, and then we drove back and the singer flew back. We ended up having to pay for his flight back because he only got a one-way ticket, among the many dumb things that he did. Shortly after all of that, we all got in a big fight with that singer about something totally unrelated to that particular show, and we all quit that band and formed something new. And then he reformed his band. But anyway, it's ironic that it ended up being the new band after Winter that went on that trip. So it's kind of like our first bonding experience as this new band, even though that was not on our minds at that particular moment. Justin says, bring the kids. They can help my kids tear up the bedroom. Yeah, that's a good point. They're a little bit weird about social experiences, which I mean, I imagine you know about too, being that you have an autistic son as well. Both of mine are autistic, and the older one also has ADHD on top of that. So sometimes they get real weird about being in new places or around new people, but other times they're like over friendly. So it's like you never know what you're gonna get. Okay, so that was the druid. She moved and attacked. We need to get some markers on Treyas. So this was number 1 turn of being stone. So we'll just keep track of how much he loses. Now, luckily, no monsters on the board. You like my acid pool trap as a marker? This is actually a trap we're going to run into way later in the book, but for now I'm just going to use it as a marker. No monsters on the board, so we are back to Robert Tylan. Nothing else can be searched in this room, but we do need to figure out the deal with that green room. He does not have any potions of healing, but Moonstone does. So with this turn, let's just stand him next to Moonstone so that when it's her turn, she can pass him a potion of healing. Thraken is now looking into the green room, so is he going to search for secret doors from his current location or move into the room and search for treasure? He is going to search for secret doors from his current location. There are none. Is he going to move into the room? He can't search for treasure on this turn. Yes, he is. So we'll just kind of bop him 1 square in there, and we'll let Moonstone go the other direction. Okay, first off, on Moonstone's turn, she is going to pass Robert a potion of healing. So we'll erase that off her sheet. She's not doing bad health. Passing an item is not an action, so she still has both her actions. Let's have her open that last door. Turn around, and 1 in this new room, which we need to adjust the camera just a little bit for. This kind of purplish maroon room here. We have a alchemy bench. We'll go ahead and put a carpet down here in the corner. We've got our alchemy bench, and based on the weight of this, I think this is also the Mage of the Mirror alchemy bench. So I guess Wardoz was into elven woodworking. We have another treasure chest. Oh, and I just so happened to pull a Mage of the Mirror chest out too. This guy really likes his elven stuff. Down in the corner. And 1 zombie. Hanging out right here. The zombie in this room is wearing wizard's robes. This is Wardoz. So unfortunately, Wardoz was consumed by dread magic, and that's why he has not been responding. So we found him, just not in a good shape. He is definitely a monster. Moonstone, what are we doing? Are we stopping here to search for traps? Yes, she is. There are no traps in Wardoz's room, surprisingly. Again, very few traps in tonight's quest. All right, Treyas, of course, is still stone. That's turn number 2 that he has been stone. We are now at the monster's turn. Oh yeah, I don't need to change cameras. I never changed it before. So Wardoz, the zombie here, is going to go ahead and come up to the doorway and attack Moonstone. He doesn't have very good attack, but he swings his sword, hitting her with a 1. She blocks the attack. At this point, it's kind of more sad than it is a threat, you know? Justin says, I'll text you about getting together sometime. Couldn't do it for a couple of weeks anyway. I want our wives to meet at some point too, since they have the same hobbies. Absolutely true, yes. Yeah, that would be super neat. All right, that brings us back to good old Robert Tylan right here. He's going to go ahead and drink up that potion of healing that Moonstone gave him so that he's not like right at death's door. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That brings him back up to 6 points, which is definitely enough to do something with. Now again, he doesn't have long range, so maybe we shouldn't have bothered with that. We can move him up there, but he can't quite do anything just yet. Okay, Thraken the Barbarian moved into that room for the express purpose of searching it for treasure, so let's go ahead and do that as his first action. Let's see, this is the weapons room. The first hero to search for treasure in this room will find the artifact Borin's Armor. That is very handy for a barbarian to find. This magical suit of plate mail gives you 2 extra defense dice. Unlike normal plate mail, this mysterious ultralight metal armor does not slow down its wearer. And then it has a list of heroes that can't wear this. So honestly, a barbarian getting this is best case scenario. The only other way the barbarian gets this many extra defense dice out of chest armor is if he either buys plate mail, which would reduce his movement to 1 red die, or once he eventually gets access to the tier 2 armory by building his combat skill set, there is a mithril mail that he can buy for a lot of gold that would give him this same benefit. So this means that we have one less hero to worry about buying that mithril mail. Now, I should mention too that not every hero gets access to that tier 2 armory. This was something that I did to try and keep the hero classes balanced and give them, you know, a niche use case essentially for all of them. Oh, and I, like a moron, I wrote mithril mail instead of Borin's armor. So only the stronger heroes get access to that tier 2 armory anyway. So by the end, when everybody is as powered up as they can be, we still have a use case for different classes. They're not just all super powerful. This is going to boost his defense dice clear up to 4, which is handy. However, among some of the other things that I added, equipping weapons or armor is an action. So that's going to take up his turn. To go ahead and put that armor on takes his other action. Okay, that brings us over to Moonstone, who is attacking Wardoz the zombie. She pulls out her wooden staff and takes a swing at the zombie, hitting it with a critical hit of 2. That's probably all we need. Wardoz does not defend, meaning he is dead. Sad, but unfortunately necessary. The wizard's, or the Emperor's personal wizard is dead. Okay, now she can use her second action to either search for secret doors or move into the room. What are we gonna do here? She's gonna move into the room. Makes sense, she can't search for treasure unless she walks up to that chest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She doesn't have the action to actually search it, but she's ready to go. Okay, over here, old Treyas is still just stoning away. This is turn 3 that he is stone. And as I mentioned, it totally just took him out of the quest. They're gonna finish before he is stone, but at least he didn't die. Justin says, seems like fans have rebalanced or changed just about every role-playing game. Yeah, no kidding, yeah. This game works just fine as its own, on its own, but it is simple, and that was the point. I wouldn't have them change that. In fact, if I'm being honest, some of the mechanics that they've introduced in these newer things in an effort to make it a little bit more fancy are things that I've just completely ignored. I've enjoyed the ways that I've complicated it, but some of the things that they've attempted to complicate, I don't know. It's just they don't jive with me personally, but I think a lot of other people like it. Again, I criticize a lot of the stuff they've done, but that is with a grain of salt because I'm glad they're doing it. I'm glad they're doing something. It's not, maybe everything they do isn't for me personally, but I am glad they're doing stuff. Okay, that pretty much does it. We do still need to search Moonstone's room. We need to get back to her turn so she can search that. Robert Tylan can go ahead and move here and get the secret door search out of the way. There are no secret doors in that room, but now they know. That pretty much takes care of all of that. Thraken doesn't have anything else to do. If we were making them roll all the way back to the staircase, that would be the only other thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're not actually going to make him do that, but just so that he's not doing nothing. And then that brings us over here to Moonstone, who can do the last action of the quest, which is searching this room for treasure. She opens up that chest and finds 150 gold coins as well as papers proving that Wardoz was consumed by dread magic and turned into a mindless zombie. So there was no saving him, there was no bringing him back, killing him was the only option, and they found 150 coins. Okay, you guys know the drill. Let's do the cleanup stuff, let's talk skill sets, and let's get their gold figured out. So first off, I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of unused spells and skills. Thanks to Treyas having to be the one to go take care of that chest, he had quite a few spells left over that he wouldn't have. Of course, eventually he would have shaken off the effects of that spell and joined the heroes leaving, so that wasn't his death or anything like that. Just pretty much took him out of the rest of the quest. Okay, now this quest gave us quite a good amount of gold. So I didn't put down that 150 coins that she found yet because we've got quite a bit of stuff that we need to add. And again, to a regular HeroQuest fan, this would seem like a super overkill amount of gold. The only reason this is okay is because we are using way more than 4 heroes. So in a normal HeroQuest game, you just pick 4 heroes and then you just use those 4 heroes, and whatever gold you find is only for those 4 heroes. We currently have 10 in our group, and by the end of this, we will have 20 heroes in the group. So the overkill amount of gold is just so that we end up with enough to outfit everybody. Nice timing, done before 3 this time. Yes, I still wish it were earlier than it was. We're gonna reach a point where we're gonna have to stretch, you know, quests part 1 and part 2. We're still in the early game. We get to some way longer and harder quests later on. Okay, so let me bring up a calculator just so that I don't screw this up. We currently have 270 gold coins. She found 150 in that chest. Also, Mentor awards each surviving hero 50 gold coins at the end, which is an extra 200. Also, just for this quest, essentially anytime the Emperor is involved in these early quests, he's offering gold rewards for the completion. The promise this time was if you figure out what happened to Wardoz, which we did, each hero gets 100 coins. So that's 400 coins. So this is a big payday, but rest assured that that's not going to keep happening. That does put us up to 1,020 gold coins. And again, we also utilize a community wallet because we have so many heroes. So rather than having them borrow from each other or wait until they personally have enough gold to buy something, we just utilize one big wallet so that we can buy whatever we need for whatever heroes are going on the quest. So it seems like a ridiculous amount, but pretty soon we're going to be wanting stuff and not being able to afford it. Okay, skill sets. Here we go. Again, we have 6 categories of skill sets. Each of the 6 categories have 10 levels. These levels affect the different hero classes differently. There is not a benefit for every single level that you gain, but it does allow a certain level of customization to the heroes as a player. And also, this will eventually allow us to make the quests a little bit harder. So the total number of skill set points by any group of heroes entering a quest lines up with a monster scaling difficulty chart up on the wall behind me. So eventually, now we haven't built up enough points yet that it matters, but eventually we will start having monsters with more body points, monsters with better attack, monsters that can't be hit with long-range weapons, all sorts of things like that as these heroes get more experience. Yeah, Justin says he was at the beach sipping a margarita. Yes, that's what we're going to tell the Emperor. Rather than he turned to the other side and got turned into a zombie. Like, nah, he went off to a different land to take permanent vacation. Each surviving hero at the end of a quest gets 2 skill set points, which they have to use immediately. So Robert Tylan here did a really good job this quest. He used up 2 of his skills. This was only his 2nd ever quest. Really enjoying using the Berserker class. I was a little on the fence when I heard about it, but I think it's coming out really well. So let's see. His first point is going to go to Constitution level 2, which gives him an extra body point. Now that's a little weird for a Berserker. He now has a maximum of 11. This is not a skill set category that I think I would choose as a Berserker, considering his skills are activated by lower amounts of body points. So it's actually not really to his benefit to have a bunch of body points. But we're randomizing everything, so there it is. His second point is going to go towards Combat level 1. Now that's more like a Berserker. Let's see if there's anything. Nothing for level 1, but he does get something at level 2, so he's well on his way. Looking forward to some more quests with that character. Next is Thraken, the Barbarian. Thraken the Barbarian definitely did a lot on this quest and got the absolute snot beat out of him doing it too. He had all sorts of healing. He had to take I think he took a healing potion at one point. He took both of the druid's healing spells. He was definitely doing the heavy lifting, and then got a pretty just reward in finding Born's armor. Hopefully that means in his next quest he won't take quite so much damage since he has considerably better defense. Let's see what he does skill set wise. His first point is magic skill level 1. That's what we get for randomizing. I'm quite sure Barbarian's not going to get anything for a while. Yeah, he doesn't get anything in that until level 3. His second point then is going to be magic memorization. Okay, whatever. So I guess the theoretical player who is playing as Thraken has decided that this Barbarian is interested in the magical arts. The Barbarian will start getting spells, just one at a time, if he gets magic skill level 3 and magic memorization level 4. That will give him 1 spell per quest. So, it's not like a Barbarian's ever going to get a bunch, but it's interesting that that's where we're building. Moonstone the Druid definitely fulfilled the role as the healer, as Bohemius was saying. Definitely ended up working out that way. And she also contributed to a lot of the, final blows on monsters, being able to shoot from the back. She's the one who eventually killed Wardoz. Not that that's really an accomplishment, but she also did really good this quest. She lost her shapeshift early, never got it back, and still contributed meaningfully, which is nice. So her first skill set point is going to go to Magic Memorization level 2. Let's see if that's anything for her. Memorization 2 for a druid is, yes, an increase. So she is now going to have 4 spells per quest. She's always going to have her 3 druid spells, but she's also now going to get 1 random regular spell, like what Treyas got this time. Neat. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Her second point is going to go towards magic skill level 2. Probably not anything. Yeah, she doesn't get anything there until level 4. But she is on the way. And finally, Treyas the Wizard, one of our newer heroes, also did pretty good this quest up until he got turned to stone. And let's face it, that was his fault in that he drank the potion, but the fact that he had to be the one to find the potion, not necessarily his fault. He's the only one who could disarm the trap, and unfortunately he got hit by the trap. So he was contributing pretty well up until he had to go off to do that trap instead. His first skill set point is going to be Machinery level 1. And I know that that's not anything. Pretty much most of the heroes don't get anything until level 3. Machinery is trap disarming. So once he gets to Machinery level 3, he'll be able to hand that toolkit off to somebody or just sell it, because he'll be able to disarm traps like he has a toolkit without actually needing one. His second point is going to Magic Memorization level 2. Let's see if that's anything. Memorization level 2 for a wizard is pick 1 spell. Awesome. So next time he goes on a quest, he will be able to have one of his 8 spells not be random. So that'll be helpful. We can pick a healing spell or pick an attacking spell by name. 6. Yes, that was it for him. All right. I think that is going to do it for us tonight. You guys know the drill. I want to thank all of you guys for watching. Again, every second of time that you spend hanging out in here means the world to me. I'm just a guy playing a board game, and as I've said a few times, I would be doing this even if nobody was watching. I have spent a lot of time doing this, even though nobody was watching. So I really, really appreciate your guys' interest and excitement for this game. I appreciate you guys hanging out here and talking with me. So special thanks to Gohan and Justin and Bohemius for keeping the chat alive for the entire stream, literally from its opening moments to its closing moments, the entire night for the last several nights. Thank you guys so much. If you are watching this and you are not in the chat, hey, next time join in. Don't be afraid to jump in there. We are more than happy to discuss anything that's going on. Game lore, game mechanics, suggestions for improving stuff, or even just regular old life chat. It's all great and it's all fun, and we appreciate everybody that's in here doing that stuff. Once again, I hope you guys enjoy everything that you see and everything that you hear here on Midnight Quest. Join us tomorrow night at midnight for a painting stream. So my wife Savannah will be down here continuing painting, I assume, heroes. That's what she's working on right now. That should be a lot of fun, and I'm so excited to see how these heroes come out the more she does. So she will be here tomorrow night at midnight. We will catch you guys then. We'll see you later.